Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rise of Drekis, Chapter 2, Outpost on the Frontier. How are my favorite players doing today?
Very good.
Fantastic.
Very
How
well.
are
That's
you,
our
Neal?
favorite DM.
Well, we're doing great over here. Mostly great. The weather is finally nice. It's in the 60s Fahrenheit, which is lovely. And it's just alternating snow and really nice days. So that's nice. That's nice.
It's about 15 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for the conversion. Yeah, it's real pleasant around these parts. So can't complain, but I will anyway. Does anyone remember where we left off? It feels like it's been a minute since we've played last.
I
We
remember
all almost died.
quite a bit, bits and pieces. So I'll give you the quick rundown, and we'll see if anyone wants to fill in the gaps. So we were let known by a shepherd or some wildsman out there that there were some orcs and wargs out there. There was some difference of opinion on how to deal with the situation. The very wounded Elaine Pentolin, with only, I think, around 3 or 5 hit points at the time, decided that the right course of action was to send the entire army and everyone in the party over to deal with it. However, those sneaky orcs on wargs decided to ride past us after almost downing the scouting crumpet and rode to pillage the town of Santa Barbara, the outpost.
Yep. Right. And there was some question of loyalties. There was a little bit of subterfuge, a little bit of lies, a little bit of paranoia. There was some confusion as to whether or not we could all trust each other, or if there was someone who was manipulating the party.
If someone had some
among
sort
us?
of spell. Among Us?
Yes.
No.
I think where last we left, Elaine was going to metaphorically, not literally, meditate on the question. So let's start with...
What is the question?
Let's start with
Was
that.
someone meddle, like, did someone meddle with Vincent's mind and get him through means of magic, probably, to, like, go against the party's interests?
I think one problem was that the episode before last, it came up that Geraldine or somebody she sent snuck into town invisibly and tried to manipulate people. And then with this ambush coming up, we had very different opinions how to handle it. But we all were very worried at the point that at some point somebody might sneak up on us again and do something to us. So we built some like traps around our doors, just trying to be sure that we would be safe. And we also had a case beforehand of Vincent being poisoned through something to drink. So subterfuge has come up like several times in the campaign. And we know that Vincent is probably the biggest asset we have when it comes to like just sheer power of destruction, right?
Yeah,
that he
magic.
has. Yeah. So there's always, since he's already been under attack, I guess there was always the worry that he might be under attack again. And with Vincent, I guess we'll figure it out in a second. Sometimes he makes decisions that seem very much out of the realm of ideas that Elaine has how to handle things, right? And sometimes they clash together. And I guess if you have a situation of pressure, subterfuge, and then ideas clashing, right? Sometimes it doesn't play out the way you might want it to.
And I think that Vincent said something that was a little bit out of what Krob thought was his character. You know, when you think that you know someone, it's been a couple weeks, you see them every day, they act in a certain way, you think that you understand what they think is right and wrong, you can kind of guess, like, oh, you know, if this situation was presented to Vincent, would he do this? Would he stab a goblin? Probably not, right? And if he did, it'd be like, what's up with Vincent? Is he okay? And when he said, we need to put Elaine to sleep, in Crumb's mind, in that like high action moment where we need to go, this is like a critical, pivotal moment, it was so not in line with the idea that Crumb has of Vincent, that she was like, something's wrong here. And then when brought to Elaine, that was also like, yeah, solidified. Like, everything is weird, we're already paranoid, and now one of us, a Mogus, is acting weird.
Well, when we ended our session, the raiders had burned sections of the town, and then a few of them had been killed and the rest had been chased off. And I think the party ends up back at the fort. And we're going to start our session with Elaine in her commander's quarters within the fort, thinking about what, if anything, needs to be done. And I would like to hear Commander Elaine's thoughts.
I'll give you a moment so that, well, part of this is an excuse that I'm picking up my food, but if you want to talk about executing me, now would be the time while I can't.
All right. I might need you back in 2 minutes, so don't make it too long. I think Elaine is just sitting on her bed, with her head hanging a little bit low, and she glances up to the big portrait of the Queen sometimes. And she's thinking about meeting Vincent and Crumb for the first time, how she thought that was such an odd bunch, right? The little halfling, the wizard.
I'm gonna run and beat you.
All right, I'll just do my monologue by myself. That's okay. But she also realized that it was such a great possibility for her to give up some responsibility, maybe, and have other people take over tasks and not having to decide everything by yourself. And I think, even though she likes being a leader, sometimes it feels good to have other people actually able to counsel you, who are not just like an accountant who suddenly started war, or somebody who's like on a mission for the very first time. So I think she thinks back of that time, and she feels that relief she felt back then. But she also thinks how things have changed between the party over time, how they've grown much closer than they were in the beginning. She thinks back of how she carried Vincent out from the tavern when he was poisoned, how she was scared when that happened to him, and how she realized that Crumb was slowly losing her mind a little bit over several things and started making these bone necklaces, but Elaine being not the kind of person who knows how to deal with these situations, right? She kind of let that one slide and did not react to it. She didn't try to calm Crumb down properly. They'd never had like a big talk about how maybe that is too much pressure and how maybe we need to slow her down a little bit. But instead, I guess she also was a part of that paranoia that Crumb developed. And as a leader, she should have probably, had a talk or done something about it. And she has a good long thought about Vincent and how she's never met somebody like him before. He's not military, right? Like, Elaine has spent her entire life surrounded by people in the military. Her dad is in the military. Her grandmother is a great general of Drekis. She was sent away to Redport to there also serve in a military position, I guess. As a city guard. So she's never really been around people who would dare to speak up to somebody who's supposed to lead them or be their superior, because there's no real space for that in the Drekisian army, right? We've seen in an older mission that she's supposed to lead, and if you speak up too much, if you make up your mind, if you go against what orders are, that might have very, very grim consequences. And she realizes that for a very long time she has been in the mind of, if your leader makes a decision, you follow no matter what, right? And clearly there's no space for, even if Elaine made space for speaking up, but at some point, you have to start worrying about things like treason or, consequences. And how does it look to the rest of my army that is already, that already broke loose last time and fled a battle scene, right? So she thinks about all these worries she's had. And she thinks about all the ideas that Vincent has brought up. And his sometimes very crazy plans, right? But also, like, she remembers the picnic he wanted to set up in the Orcs. She remembers that time he wanted to go to the castle and rest there, like the enemy fort, because he thought they had a diplomatic immunity, right? And she lets that all run through her mind, and she realizes that maybe that idea to just relax in the fort was not founded on a charm, but just on Vincent's general chaotic thinking that she doesn't comprehend, that just is so foreign to her because she hasn't been surrounded by these people. Mm-hmm. And I guess she swings her feet off the bed and walks over to wherever Crumb is and picks her up. And says, Crumb, I think we should go over to Vincent and have a talk. Would you accompany me?
Of course.
Is Vincent still tied up?
He's still tied up, yeah.
Bound. Okay.
But what, did you figure out something?
I think I figured something out.
Oh. You found out that he was charmed.
Oh, just you let me do the talking. You can ask some question. We'll see how it goes. All right.
We head over to Vincent Mapper's chambers, where we will find, I think, both Vincent Mapper and his ever-present sidekick Vorden.
I think our chambers.
Are they both there? Sure, we'll have them both there. That's fine.
Excellent.
Okay. I'm going to plop down on the ground, I guess, and look at Vincent. What's he doing? How is he looking? What's his facial expression when we come in?
I take it I'm resting in some place?
You're in your room, I think, but you're still tied up.
Tied up. I think I was knocked unconscious. So I'm at like 1-ish HP or something.
Yep.
Great. I'm just is Vorden here as well, or did you put him somewhere else? Here, okay. I guess right before he came here, Vincent and Vorden have had a talk. Well, it looks like this is it for us, old friend. Vorden kind of nods and says, "This is so stupid." And then you come in.
All right.
Crumb is silent, and she looks very serious.
I'm going to sit down next to them. I guess they're sitting on the floor since they're tied up, right? It's probably more comfortable or whatever. Mm-hmm. I look at them and I say, okay, I will say a few words if you allow me before we continue with this. I look at the two of them. Is that fine?
We don't really have a choice, do we? Asks Vorden.
I'll look at Vorden and say, Vorden, I'm not going to say you're wrong, okay? All I'm asking is a tiny bit of patience. I know you don't have much left, but I would very much respect it if you would hear me out.
Yep, Vincent nods. Vorden is silent.
So, the two of you have known each other for a really long time, I assume.
They both nod.
Right. And if you're somebody's bodyguard, it means that you trust them, because you would never try to protect somebody with your life whom you don't know and who you do not trust to make good decisions. Is that correct?
Vorden nods and says, "Yeah, Vincent's a good man. Just before we rode out to the ambush, he told me in private, if it looks real bad out there, this is probably an ambush, and that I could run away if I wanted to."
Right. But you don't want to run away, Vincent, are you?
Vorden, rather, right? Or...
No, I mean Vincent.
Oh. He thinks about it and says, "No, I am one to run away. I would definitely run away if the situation called for it." And I thought that was a situation which might call for it, which is why I had the uniquely called for 2 horses that time. Not only did we need to run away, we might have to chase something.
So there's one great problem I always face when we're on this mission, and that is that we're not on a deserted island where it's just about us, right? We're here.
Wait a second. He doesn't say anything.
We're here to protect the people of the village, right? And the things we do, they leave an impression. If we search people at a tavern, it leaves an impression on them. If we don't defend them, but decide to lay back and relax, it makes an impression on them, right? If we stand up for them and they can see our bruise and they can see we're battered, it means something to them. And sometimes we have to make the decision that this power that we have that we might not be able to actually see or grasp, right? Sometimes we have to make the decision to put that before other things, okay? And I've grown up in the military, okay? I was there in the capital when they thought at any point Scoria might attack. I was there standing in that courtyard under the command of my father, knowing there is nothing I could do if she actually came. But I still protected that castle, right? And you might criticize this as a foolish command because there was nothing we could have done. But it was the right thing to do for anybody who's ever served in that army. And what I realized now is you are not an army person, Vincent. And I don't blame you for it. But I realized that when you want to put me to sleep so I don't go and figure out that ambush, you want to protect me.
At this point, Crumb's gonna step up a little and kind of go into her ear and be like, Elena, we're not killing him.
I'll gently pat Crumb's shoulder and I'll shake my head and I'll say, Crumb, take a deep breath. Okay. All right. You can ask questions after. Okay. All right. I'll look back at Vincent and I'll say, but what you do in the military, if by magical means you put your commander to sleep, okay, many people could see as treason, no matter what your intentions are. And I'll be very honest with you, I've never known people to really worry about me or care about what happens to me as long as I do my duty. And I've never met a wizard I actually could trust. So I think, Vincent Mapper, you are the most chaotic person I've met so far. But I also think that you are probably a really good person at the same time. And I think I just have not experienced it. And I'm willing to give the experience a second try if you would be willing to forgive me for acting the way I did.
Vincent gives a nervous chuckle. This is good news. Yes, what I was doing was acting as your doctor and a friend. You were about to go right off to a known ambush. You were on death's door. You sent our halfling off all alone to a known ambush, and I desperately tried to stop her, but you had me gagged. And I thought about running and killing her, but I thought I would be shot down by your archers. I tried to warn you. I didn't know the exact nature of what the ambush was, but I knew it was going to be one, and thought if we just stayed here and rested, at least the town would be defended. When I say we're taking it easy, I do mean that we're resting, but it's also important that our army keeps a watch, so to say.
Well, Vincent, I'm not very good with understanding extended meaning of phrases, so when you say taking it easy, can you next time say, I'm worried because you are very hurt and we need to protect this village at any cost, but not at the cost of losing the general, because that would help?
Didn't I say that? Vincent wonders, and then maybe I wasn't clear enough.
I think you did.
Clearly
I'll let
something
out a
got lost
long
in
sigh.
translation. I look at Krob.
Krob is just looking up at the air like,
All right. Okay, listen. Vincent, if anything ever happens to you, I don't think I'm going to be in a position to figure out if you are mind controlled or not. I guess the day you follow every rule to a T, and the day you don't do something that I find inherently confusing, is the day I know that there is something wrong with you. Okay?
but why would you threaten to put her to sleep? That is against every army code that there ever was.
Did you look at her? She had cuts and bruises everywhere. I think even I could have taken her down by throwing a dart at her. There's no way that she should
Excuse
be
me?
doing anything other than resting on that day. You care about Elaine. Didn't you
Of
see how
course.
wounded she was?
Yes, but you can never put your commanding officer to sleep. It's clear, Vincent. It wasn't like you. You would have never done that.
I absolutely would have.
All I'm saying, and Crumb will get out her little dagger, and she'll be like, if you turn on us in the middle of battle, I will be the first to stick the dagger in your back.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cut you loose. Okay. Vordrin, if you would like to go for a spar, you know, just to get out all the angry energy, you know, I would settle for that. I look at Vordrin.
Let's see. Fordrin looks back at Elaine. Is that you at 5 out of 31?
Elaine's
Plenty.
at 7 out of 42, and Vordrin is
7,
at 1
yes.
out of 21.
Fordrin looks back at you and says, yeah, no. You may be the most bullheadish commander I've ever had, but I know that you're a strong fighter at least, and I'd rather not.
All right. I'm going to cut the two loose, and I'm going to toss the bag with the 2 scrolls back to Vincent. I'll say, okay. I believe in us. I think we can do this. We still haven't lost yet.
But now we're gonna have to wait a while for us to heal from our injuries before we can adequately defend the town.
Well, I mean,
that's a
we
great
did.
idea, Crumb. Should we take it easy for 2 weeks?
Vincent, not a word from you.
I'll say, well, how about, in case there should be some ambush or something, Vincent and Krob, you two together come up with a strategy to defend the town. I think we probably have to move to town to make these people know that we are actually there to defend them. I don't think we can stay in the fort. But I don't think resting there is out of the question. All right.
Okay. Well, that's enough for tonight. The city was just burned slightly, moderately inflamed,
Singed.
singed. We won't worry about it so much. It'll probably be a little while before the raiders come back. Maybe they'll come back tomorrow morning. Maybe they'll come back tonight. But you killed a few and they ran off with some loot, so they're probably gonna have to take that loot all the way back.
They also lost 3 orcs, right?
They did lose like a third of their raiding party. Yeah. So
And some
who knows?
wargs.
Who knows? But we
Fuck
can
those
rest.
wargs.
I guess I will at least let Willa know that we've cleared up the situation with Vincent so he doesn't get shot the second. I would leave the door like, oh yeah, hey, we're back, and just murdered. So
That's nice.
thanks. That's how I am.
All right. Dates were matching up. Okay. So we're
Do you
gonna...
sometimes think Neal influences people like subconsciously with the music he's playing, you know, to get the outcome he wants? I think he does that sometimes.
No, absolutely not.
There
Music,
might be subliminal messaging in there.
there's no way
We're all
that
a
music
happy
sets
family.
emotional tone. That's not how this works. We're gonna rest for a little while, it sounds like. Maybe move into town. You do
Yeah.
have 18 healthy warriors with you that can, you know, patrol the town and do all the things. I'm sorry, not 18, 16. So are we gonna be moving our 4 heroes to town, or are they gonna stay in the fort, which is really like, it's only a mile from town, or not even a mile, like a half mile from town. Like a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, but I think we still want to be there because they lost some people, right? Some villagers died. They burned the city slightly. I think it's a good time to
So
Yeah.
are you
signal
gonna
that.
like
I'm going.
kick people out of their houses and take them over?
They
Or are
have
you
a
just gonna be,
tavern there,
soaking
right?
on the streets. Yeah, but a tavern, it's a tavern. It's not an inn.
Right.
It might be good for morale. Do we have like a makeshift hospital in the area? They might have had some wounded after that attack.
The fort serves as your makeshift hospital.
We should probably stay here in the fort then. But
Okay.
They-
Well,
they can-
I'll follow Vincent on that one. I think we should still keep up the patrols, though, at least. I guess Willa will oversee those because none of us are in a position to actually patrol around town. We're all very much, you know, hurt. So
if we want to make an appearance, it might be good for town morale, just to let them know that we are all fighting for them.
I agree. Let them see how battered we are to raise morale. I mean, maybe not all of us. Maybe one or two.
Well, if you want to gain 3 HP per day, you need full bed rest. If you want to walk through town, you can only gain 2 HP that day.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll walk through the town for one day at least. Talk to people. You know, have a look at how bad it was. You know, showing them off my bruises and being like explaining to them that we tried chasing off the wargs back then and that we tried to fight them and all that. You know, just to let them know we do care.
Okay.
So I'll take only 2 for one of those days, I guess.
Can I get... Who wants to make a really important roll?
Not me.
I vote for
Fucking not
Vincent.
me.
100%.
Vincent. Oh, buddy Vincent, would you roll me a D6 plus 2?
Sure.
And you want to roll high?
All right, that's an average.
It's not bad. That's not bad. You're gonna get 5 days of rest before your plans are interrupted. But
That's
5
14
days of
HP
rest
for
is
me, yeah.
great. Yeah, everyone gains 15 except for Elaine, who gains 14.
All right.
Everyone gains 15 health.
Yep.
Okay. Let me find that token.
We're just gonna skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of rest. Lovely. In these 5 days, you get to hang out, you get to heal up, you get to sort of just watch what's happening. You get to explore whatever those documents are that you found on all these ships and persons that you haven't had a ton of time to explore. The town is not excited that it was set on fire and that some of its people were killed and loot taken, but
Relatively
no,
valid.
the town's been through worse. It's been through some real bad times, and this is just one of those facets, so it's not the worst thing. However, on September 18th, when Ephra, goddess of art and inspiration, is high in the sky, and Velmontarius, god of justice, is first beginning to rise, some things go down. That
Justice
definitely require.
on the rise.
Yeah, these things definitely require a musical change, though.
No, changing the vibe.
Yeah, because we're going to be awoken that morning. No, this is not the right song.
Yeah, that seems like we're about to fucking just and they attack you and kill you all.
Yeah, that is very heavy and sort of dire. We want this is it. We are awoken in the morning, in the early AM, by the quaking of the ground, by the shaking of the earth, and by dust and plaster falling from walls and ceilings onto our faces in our bedrooms. An earthquake rocks the land.
Wow.
Yes, California is known for its earthquakes. This place is based roughly on a place in California. And so the earth will shake. And oftentimes earthquakes, they're terrifying and they're scary, but they're over pretty fast. They're over in like a minute, tops. This one, it keeps shaking, and it keeps shaking, and it keeps shaking. I think our party finds themselves outside of their buildings in the courtyard where all the folks are gathering to stay away from bits that crumble. And I'm going to break the fort up into 4 sections. Actually, yeah, 4 sections. I will roll a saving throw for the front gate, and Elaine is going to roll a saving throw for the right side of the walls over here. Crumb's going to roll a saving throw for the left bottom side of the walls, and Trump's going to roll a saving throw for the right side of the walls. Let me get the numbers you need before we make any actual dice rolls.
And okay, so we don't have to click anything on our sheet. It'll be like a
No.
roll.
You're going to roll a 1d20, and you want to roll rock.
You want to roll rock?
Martian blow.
I'm gonna roll before
for
you tell
structural
me.
soundness.
Before you tell me if I want high or low. I think
high? You want above
Oh,
a 13.
that. Okay.
We're rolling
Excellent,
rock.
Trump.
We're rocking and rolling.
Fucking finally.
Trump's walls maintain. Elaine's walls break.
The other way, it's Peach. Peach rolls a 20.
Oh, Peach rolled a
19.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump
I
and
know it's
roll the same.
unbelievable. I know.
It didn't put your name in chat. It's based under Trump Vincent rolls rock. So, okay, the bottom walls are intact. The left and right walls are falling, and the gatehouse stays intact. So this is not great, not terrible. It's terrible. It's very bad. The building begins to disintegrate beneath you. But that's not all.
Amazing.
In the early light of dawn, before the sun has crested up and over the mountains in the east, you can see other things. Lights upon the mountains, bright red spots upon the mountains. And there is
Oh no.
spread. The red spots spread. It takes a few minutes before the shaking stops. And now the party, with decent HP, good roll on that D6 plus 2, can decide what you want to do. Because those red spots on the mountains, even after the quaking stop, seem to grow brighter and larger.
Yeah, immediately, like as things start to shake, I'm gonna start screaming out for Elaine. Elaine!
I'll point it up there at the mountain and say, Vincent, do you think is this what I think it is?
I look at it. I actually don't know what to expect. I stare at those red spots.
They're bright, they're glowing. Everything is sort of dark and dim, but there's this like bright, red thing.
Am I thinking some sort of fire elemental?
You tell me.
It might be some fire spirits, I say.
Yeah, we've seen it
Fire
earlier.
spirits?
Yeah, we've seen them earlier as a light in the distance, but I don't know. Maybe the elementals are acting up. This is really bad timing.
Yes, hopefully they decide to go to the orc fort and not our fort.
What if Geraldine is controlling them?
That would be bad. But that might be
Well, the town
case.
was just singed. I think they're about to be, like, fried.
Well, we'll have to prepare. I think in the worst case, they'll come to attack us.
They're coming down, like, the spot is moving down the mountain towards us, right? Because the mountain, like, the fort would be on the other side, so I assume it would be moving away from us, yeah.
Well, mountains are kind of far off. Spots are moving, but it's too hard to get like a true direction yet. You'd need to spend many minutes watching to see if it's actually going in a predictable direction or if it's just sort of moving around as an amoeba. How long would you like to sit and watch the fire before making a decision?
We'll have to study
The fort is down anyways. I think we move to town. I think we have to defend.
What are you gonna do?
There's nothing defendable here.
With the the south side survived. You did, if you remember, you have 8 goblin slaves. Nook Nook was one of them.
All of
Nook Nook was one of the goblin slaves?
That you had a long time ago, and he's the only one that we've really interacted with. You still have these other 8 ones. Are you going to leave them locked in the fort while you run away?
They were not locked up though. They were like working for us.
Yeah,
Is that
they
what
were
the
free to
situation
roam.
was?
They're okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Then we're not going to worry about them.
Said that earlier. No, they're coming with us.
All right.
Like the entire group has taken their stuff. Like I don't know. I'm not sure where I don't think we ever said where we could have our supplies. I guess if there were supplies we could grab and then run off. We do that now. But
Yeah,
I'm not going to spend half an hour finding our stuff.
Perfect. You'll grab whatever you need from the rubble of the fort that you can access, that you do need, and you can take the whole group into town.
Yeah, I'll
Great.
do that.
You mentioned it was like a 10-minute walk, so I'll spend those 10 minutes to keep my eye on those elementals. As a mapper, I'd like to be able to see what direction they're going.
Excellent. Yes, with the time that you can spend looking up at those mountains as you're walking around, you can see that they don't seem to have a direction. There's, one on the mountain range way over there, and one there, and like 2 there, and 1 over there. So there's a bunch of these things, but they don't seem to be in a coordinated effort. One of them is going up and then it disappears on the backside of the mountains. One is like coming down the mountain, just like down the mountain, not necessarily in any specific direction. Some of them are just going back and forth across the mountains. One seems to go up and then it goes down again. 2 end up meeting and then splitting again. It appears to be a pretty chaotic and non-organized set of lights that are spreading fires wherever they go.
I look around as we walk, does it seem like the earthquake was centered exactly at our fort, or was there just one in the area?
That's an interesting question. I don't
In other
know
words,
how...
did a spellcaster cast earthquake on our fort?
I understand. No, by the time you get to town, you can tell that's definitely not the case because much of the town is in shambles. Much of the town itself has collapsed. The parts that weren't burned, not all of it, but much of it is tumbled down. Everyone's awake and out in the streets, and more than that, people have gathered near the pier, near that little harbor causeway area, because the lagoon is dried up. All the water has left the lagoon.
So the boat is just standing on nothing? Like the
2 boats are just tilted over in the mud in the lagoon.
Oh my fucking god.
Well,
What
one
the
boat is
fuck
still
going
out,
on?
but one boat is in the lagoon,
You're right. You're right. One boat's in the
did that
lagoon
last time.
tilted over on its side. Yeah.
I was just looking at it. Okay, is Campbell around? Is he here? Was he,
He's
did
probably
he
at
come
his
into
own
town?
house. No, he has not come into town. Or if he has, you haven't seen him. He's not. Lord
Great
Campbell's nowhere to
leader
be found.
Campbell, sorting through his cutlery. Okay, got it. All right. I'll walk over to, and I'll try to find the harbor master.
Yeah, you can find the harbor master. They are putting on pants and getting dressed and hurrying out, and you can see them in a disarray with like one suspender off a shoulder and just kind of like flapping around, looking about in panic.
Okay, I'll walk next to him, quickly, matching a step, and I'll say, What's going on? Has such an earthquake happened here before?
There have been earthquakes in the past, but not like this. Where'd the water go? The sea just vanished.
I have no idea. I look towards the horizon. Has the entire ocean just disappeared? Like, how much water are we missing, you know?
Yeah, you can head to a spot because the lagoon is separated from the ocean by a little bit, but you can just take a quick stroll over to where the actual beachfront is, and you can see that the ocean has receded, showing rocks and tide pools.
Neal, I hate to say it, but I'm not an earthquake person. I doubt there are that many earthquakes in Drekis either.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not in a position to make some meta calls about how geographical, like how these events work, because Elaine would not know, okay? I'm just going to call it out now before people get upset later, okay? I'm just going to call it out now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
well,
would Krob ever know of a tsunami or anything like that? I'm assuming not.
probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
See, if I saw that in real life, I'd start fucking running.
Yeah, because we've grown up
Earthquake
with...
followed by receding ocean. Yeah, you get out.
Yeah, you get out. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, our characters in our world
Wouldn't know.
probably don't
Yeah.
know these things.
So we'd probably run to the town, towards the receding water to help them, which is
Maybe.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the water's going away. There's nothing you can't stop an ocean.
Stop! Don't
People
go!
in the past have tried to punish the ocean for doing things that it didn't like. I think King Xerxes had his people whip the ocean for sinking his ships as punishment. It didn't go well.
Could we go to the town map, Neal? Is that possible?
Yes, let me bring up the town map over here. I'm going to bring it up as we left it.
Would you say, as a person to study and as a cartographer, that I'd have a general idea of what might happen on an earthquake and then the ocean receding?
Why don't you give me an intelligence check at -4?
Okay. I will press the intelligence button and then we'll subtract 4 from it.
Love it. 22 is a success. Yes, you have heard about how earthquakes can reshape the land. It's a problem when it comes to map making because you spend all this time doing a coastline and then an earthquake will come and then you'll have to redraw the coastline. And when you revisit the area, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, the rocks fell and everything changed. But then also the water vanished and then it came back and swept over the area and it also changed and added lagoons and lakes and isthmus and all sorts of stuff. So you've heard tale of earthquakes and water draining and floods.
I let Elaine know as I look over the ocean with her. We have to move everyone from town inland now.
All right, everybody get moving. We have to round up these people.
Towards
I'm
the
not going to
fire?
ask. I'm not
Towards the
going to
fire
ask.
people.
I'll say, Krob, do you know anything about how the world is created? Well, Vincent probably does. So I'm going to follow this. I guess we don't have much time. Remember how quickly the weather changed last time when we were in the mountains? I'm not going to get drowned a second time. So get out of here. We'll round up the people. I'll tell people to go, I guess, westward into the.
Yes.
Can I ping? I don't. Somehow my overlay looks different. So into this direction. Move them out. Get your stuff.
Yes.
We'll get you to safety. Don't go towards the harbor. We have to move out together.
As many people as will follow do, and the people move, and you exit the town, hurrying people away. And as you leave, there will be a rising tide that comes and sweeps through the town. It's not tens of feet overhead. It comes up to about waist height. And the water in and of itself is not that dangerous. It's what's in the water as it sweeps across the land that is dangerous, because it carries with it rocks and timbers, and it carries with it a boat. In the rising sun of the morning, you can see the ship that was just hanging out in the harbor gets swept, lifted, and tossed into someone's garden and field. There's not much to actually... There's no dice to roll. You just flee. And when everything settles down, and when the sun comes up nice and high overhead, the catastrophe is mostly over. I mean, there's still those, what we're assuming are fire elementals, rampaging around on the mountainside and down in the foothills, which are now spreading fires across the mountains. But you can't stop a forest fire. I don't think we have any anti-forest fire spells on hand, so...
Are we worried about that actually coming down to us? Like, spreading?
That is a possibility. Fire generally likes to go upward, but if the winds are right, it can go downhill too. But you
I'll
know,
ask Vincent. Vincent, how's the, you're the wind expert. Are we worried about this?
I am. I'll study the direction of the fire during the entire evacuation. That's my pet interest, to look at the mountain and see how everything is going.
we've got two fire sources. We've got these bright spots that are moving in chaotic directions and setting fires, which you can see as lines. And the lines generally go up the mountain, but these bright spots, what we're assuming are elementals, are still moving in various directions, and at least one of them has come down the mountain by the time, the party has fled the town and the waters have begun to recede. And not just come down the mountain, but it's coming towards the sea. And it doesn't have to, if it's creating fire as it goes, it doesn't have to walk into town to threaten the town. It just needs to walk into the flatlands nearby.
We might have to go out and fight a fire elemental, I say.
How would we fight a fire elemental? Aren't those like the big scary elements of the earth that just catch everything on fire? How do you kill them? Can you kill them?
Well, I think back. Was it an earth elemental that we fought in the
I think
tunnels?
so. Or a rock elemental, or a stone elemental, or a cave elemental. I don't know. I mean, something like that.
Yes, we've killed one of them before. We can do it again. This one's just made of fire instead.
Oh, that sounds significantly worse. Okay.
Well, I guess we have no choice. I'll look out and I'll say, okay, can I see the line that's coming? Like you said, one is moving towards us, right? One line's moving towards us.
It's down the mountain. It's not coming towards the town. It's just sort of out in the area between town and mountains. But if it sets fires and the winds blow in the wrong direction, those fires can just come into town eventually. But it's not like you don't get the impression that it's coming for you, only that by accident
it
could
risk.
Threaten you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a natural disaster. Like if a tornado was coming at us, but made of fire.
Yeah.
Vincent, and I'll say, so if we go there, it's going to be dangerous and possibly deadly, and I feel okay, but I don't feel great. So you as my doctor, what do you recommend?
Well, this shouldn't be much of a threat. Fire elementals are really bright and noticeable, and we have a bunch of archers. So what we should do is we should stay very far away from it and shoot a bunch of arrows at it until it falls over. And with any luck, we won't have to be anywhere near it.
Well, I didn't think we would be able to hurt an elemental first time we fought one. I have no idea if we'll be able to do it this time, but I do trust your judgment, so let's give it a try.
I might have done some elemental study in my magic school, so I'll think about whether or not that plan has major flaws in it. Namely, if I ever had the critical information that fire elementals can't be damaged by normal weapons.
Why don't you roll me another intelligence check at -4? Because I don't think you have any elemental lore, but you are a well-educated person in the arcane arts.
Mm-hmm. All right, subtract 4 from that.
Oh,
14.
14. You know nothing about fire elemental combat.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Maybe do you have water? Can you throw buckets of water at it? Will that help?
They'd likely be weak to water. However, I don't think we can get enough water in a dangerous enough form.
Oh god.
Unless we can get a nymph that's living there.
Yeah, are you thinking a naiad?
Mary. Maybe we can find. I don't know where that came from. Maybe. If we make it there, if we find a river nearby, maybe we'll have a chance.
Yes, unfortunately, it seems like they are coming from the mountain pass between us.
Yeah, but water comes down the mountain, doesn't it?
I don't think there are any on our side.
Any fire elementals?
Naiads.
And then
Naiads. Ah,
Nereds.
there we go. Nereds.
Oh, Naiads.
We'll figure out what they are. Well, let's head there and figure it out. Yeah.
Where was
I think
there?
the Nereds are far, right? Like we went on a whole adventure to get to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm saying we need to go. We need to go to the fire mantle. If there's no river or no water source nearby, then that'd be it. Then we fight it with what we have.
Well, 32 miles away is Lake Casitas. You can walk 20 miles a day on foot, so you could take 3 days to get there and back.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure everything would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, okay, so maybe that's not a viable plan.
If you like barbecue, it's going to be a good time.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
To the fire elemental? Who are we taking? Are we taking everyone? Are we
I think
just
we
taking
should
our heroes?
We really only need the archers, and that's probably all that we need. Can have the rest of the army just guard our citizens, let them settle back in town.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't know how strong a fire elemental is. Vincent's a wizard, so we'll trust his judgment.
Okay. I'm gonna just place some fire elementals on the map so you can get
How
an
long will
idea.
command the forces in town, so she's staying behind as the only archer, I guess.
1, 2, there were 5. One went over the other side of the mountain. Yeah, so this one's over here. And this is the one that we need to be, oops. Here we go. This is the one that we need to be worried about right now. The one that has come down the mountain to say hello, while these other ones are sort of going over on top. And there was a 5th elemental, which went to the top of a mountain and then faded from sight. I think the assumption is that it went on the backside of the mountain and disappeared over there. Although maybe it was just killed by something and that's why it faded. Who knows?
Hopefully the Nereds are protecting their rivers well.
Okay.
Could be. And I comment, ha, the orcs will have to deal with that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've got our 4 heroes plus 8 archers, including Willa, who are going
Willa's
out.
staying behind.
Sorry, 7 archers who are heading out to meet a fire elemental, and we'll see what happens on the other side of our break. Catch you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rise of Drekis. Our party heads out in the direction of the fire, in the direction of the fire elemental, in the direction of danger, because that's what they do. They go towards danger when everyone else is running away from it, right?
We're very brave.
This time we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We asked
silly
Vincent
adventures.
if he runs away. He says sometimes, but not this time. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid this is a problem we can't run away from. But we will stay at max range from.
Speaking of max range, we were discussing off screen the max range of your bows, which are 170 yards, which is a long distance. That's what, 510 feet? Granted, you're taking shots at -5 to hit at that range, but it's a good range.
And we're also, if we're in the forest, then there's going to be cover, probably, even if we can see it very clearly.
That's good. I think that would be our goal, to engage it at max range. Knowing that max range is bad for shooting, we'd bring a bunch of arrows.
I just bring up the fact that if it would run away from us, if we start shooting it, though, then we might cause an even bigger forest fire, so we might want to at least half encircle it.
I
Yes.
think it's the type of thing that will run towards us, not away from us.
If we're attacking it, I think so, yeah. I think that they're... Yeah.
Well, the last one clearly did go for the big attack, you know, when it had a chance to run away, so I guess you're right.
Well, we head out into the plains as the sun is rising. No one has had anything to eat this morning. It's been too much danger. But we've got our weapons. we've got our armor, we've got some arrows, and we've got some courage. Speaking of courage, party, these folks with you, these soldiers with you, these warriors at your side have been with you through a lot. Through the initial landing, the initial fight, the initial takeover of the fort. There's been some combat with orcs. There was a moment of cowardice and fear running through everyone's veins on the mountainside. There was the warg ride by. And now there's these elementals, and you're far away from home with no hope of reinforcements, and the town was just burned and overwhelmed by, like, you know, waist-high water that brought mud and silt and debris and all sorts of sea life into the town and made a mess of everything. And now these 7 archers, not brave heroes, not great warriors, not individuals with cunning minds and sharp daggers and a penchant for sneaking up on their enemies, not brave, I shouldn't say brave, but not intellectual wizards who have the benefit of education and social standing and training and all these wonderful things, not someone with long histories of generations of the family leading armies, just regular people who are doing their service and have been given a bow and some arrows. And you can tell on the walk out to meet this elemental that this is a kind of a scary moment for them. This isn't an orc, which is like, you know, it's a weird green-skinned, you know, tusked monster, but it's still like a person. It's understandable. You're gonna go fight some fire by shooting it with sticks with metal heads. It's a little bit scary. Does anyone in the party have anything to say, to encourage, to bolster the bravery of our 7 ordinary people?
Fordrin's got something, but we'll see if Elaine wants to as the commander.
Okay, I'll probably start, and then if Wardren wants to say something, Elaine will pass on the word to another simpler warrior, I guess. You know, sometimes it's encouraging to hear things from somebody who's more on your level, because leaders will always lead. So Elaine turns towards the people as they walk, and she'll say, soldiers of Drekis. Okay. I know you're worried about what's going to happen to us. Sometimes danger is very graspable. Sometimes we can see whatever is coming for us. When there's an orc rider trying to conquer the town, then we can see it. And we know it will bleed. And sometimes there's danger ahead of us where we don't know if it will. But it doesn't change what our mission is. Our mission is to be here to protect the town and to help these good people, and they put our faith in us. Right? And just as much faith as they have in us succeeding here, I have in us as well. We will be able to conquer this, and we will best it, and we will keep these people that believe in us safe, because that is what we were sent here to do. That's the difference between us and simple townsfolk. Because we are here, and it's our mission to accomplish this, and we can if we stick together.
Are there any woman archers here?
Yes.
All right. Fordrin will start after Elaine stops there. Look, boys and girls, it's simple. We're gonna stand as far as we can from this mystical flame thing. I don't want to touch it. You don't want to touch it. We're gonna shoot it. We're gonna back the heck up as it comes at us, and then we're gonna shoot it some more until it falls over. Let's do this.
From our 2 lead warriors, we have a rousing speech about duty and honor and position, and a tactical speech about how we're gonna keep ourselves safe from all of this. And these are great things to hear from your leaders. But you know what is also useful? The opinion of your peers. And Crumb, you're not some great knight. You're not some, bodyguard who's working with these upper ranks of minor nobility. You're just a fucking halfling. You're just a fucking ordinary farmer, just like these people. And sure, you might have a more prestigious position here, but you're kind of small. Small things are cute and relatable. You're a little psychotic, but also your place in society is a lot closer to the place of these ordinary archer people. And here, with the words of someone of their own rank, their own place in the world, has its own special type of impact. It's not with the rousing speeches where you line everyone up and you talk to them. It's in the march after the speeches while everyone's walking together. There's that little halfling nearby. Are you the sort of little halfling to march up at the front with the other leaders? Or are you gonna be like in and amongst the crowd of archers talking to them? What is your style is the real question.
Let's see. I honestly probably want to be close to Elaine, but I'd be happy to talk to I'd be like, I don't know, maybe intermingling with the crowd at some point, but I would mainly want to stay next to Elaine because I'm still suspicious of Vincent and I don't want to like leave her side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would tell them if anyone talked to me, if anyone was like, we're going out to battle, I'd be like, we're gonna kill that thing. Nothing's gonna get in our way, and the entire town depends on us being successful. This is what our lives are for fighting and defending. It's just another day. Don't be nervous.
Just another day. This is our lot in life.
Is it Monday? Can we check? It seems like a Monday.
Yeah, just another Monday, folks. Nothing to see here.
It's a Thursday.
God damn. Now weekend is close, okay? One more day. Tomorrow evening we're going to get some rest.
Okay. Well, here we are. We are arriving at the scene of battle. Let's take a look at our map and zoom way out. Use that minus button on the zoom chart to get as far out as you need to, because we're trying to do this at a nice big old range here. In the bottom right corner, we have our brave heroes. In the upper left corner, we have our elemental. Who we should probably... Did we not title? Oh, we did title this. It is titled...
Oh, and that's all the stuff that's on fire, or that's what he's blowing right now, like out of his elemental mouth?
That is the path that the elemental has made, and it's setting the grasses on fire, and then it's sort of spreading out. You can think of it almost like the wake of a ship. As it goes forward, it sets fires, and the fires move away.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. And is it uphill, downhill? Like, what's the terrain like?
Generally speaking, this is uphill, but it's pretty shallow uphill, right? It's like real slow, real gentle. We'd call it flat for pretty much any purpose, but technically that's uphill.
Okay. Well, if you want to, okay.
It looks to me like this fire is really obvious that we could notice from a far distance, right?
Huge distance. We're not at this range. You can shoot at 510 feet.
Awesome.
My map is not that big, so this is just a general depiction.
Okay. Are there actually rocks around that we could climb on to have a better vantage point?
Yeah, you can find a little rock to scramble, or like a gently rising hill that you can crest to get a good point. Not a problem.
Okay. I still think we should at least make a half circle and climb these rocks if possible, and I'll give the command to shoot when we're ready. We're staying like what speed is it going?
The fire elemental seems to be moving haphazardly in little bursts. If you've ever played Heroes of the Storm, she bounces around like Lunara. Or if you've ever played Dota, she bounces around like whatever the bouncy, annoying, poisoning nymph lady is. I can't remember her name. Is that Lunara?
No, Lunara is from Hots. Enchantress is from Dota.
There we go. Yeah, it moves in an, a
Hippity-hoppity.
non-standard,
Yeah, got it.
predictable way. It'll like jut forward, and then it'll stop, and then it'll like reach out pretty far, and then just sort of flow into that direction, or reach out and then like pull back. It's like fire. It moves chaotically.
All right.
Well, party, you want to do a half circle? Why don't you give me a little doodle on the concept of half circle? Because you don't really, certainly you wouldn't want people to like make a half circle into the flames, right? That would be sending people into fire.
I mean, we have, I don't know, like you said, this is not up to scale, is it?
No, the scale here is.
So technically I would like to be on the side of the fire, so something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So not in its path, right?
Okay. Off to one side, but spread out so you're not like a single point.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Well, you can get in a line, you can spread out. What sort of distance would you like between the two ends of your line? Is this a really, really big distance? Like you have to shout to be heard? Do you want it to be further than that where you have to like use hand signals to talk to one another? Or is this like a close enough distance that you could easily command everybody?
It would sound to me like every archer 20 feet away from each other would be reasonable. Thoughts on that?
I think that's fine, yeah.
Okay, so 140-foot line from side to side. And
I'll mention that I don't know, like to Elaine, I'll ask her, Elaine, I can't do bows. So where would you like me? Would you like me to just defend you, be beside you?
Are you a slinger?
I do have a sling. I'll do that then. Let me check my range on that. Hopefully it's the same.
I think the sling actually has greater range than the bows.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, I can go 160 to 200 at their max.
Yards? Wow.
Yeah.
Sling, yeah. I've stone sling.
Slings have great range and good damage, but in the real world, they need a lot of space, and so it's hard to group lots of slingers together. That's why they fell out of favor once better technology came along.
Like bows.
All right. So our 4 party members, middle, spread out.
Middle sounds good.
Middle.
Wherever Elaine commands me.
Great.
Yeah, I think middle is fine. Maybe Krob a little bit to the, like, we'll still spread ourselves out behind them, I guess, right?
This is just a good enough representation then. And you can be at max range, and the fire elemental doesn't seem to be taking particular notice of any of you. So why don't we start with our first volley? You're going to need, because you're at -5 to hit, you're going to need natural 20s at max range to hit this thing. So just hit me 14 d20, and Krob, you can roll me 2 d20.
Vordren will do the same.
And Vordren, thank you.
Whoops. Oh, so close, Vordren.
Nope. Not a single shot will hit. They will land in and around the fire elemental. They'll skim through, clip through tips of flames, and just sort of land in the grasses around. First wave of attacks has no effect. And the elemental will move after the first round a little bit away from the party. Just that. Which is
Well, I
easy.
guess we have to close in now, because otherwise it will be out of range, yeah.
Yeah. The whole line can move forward a small amount. And why don't we get second shots? Next round, same concept.
Nice. Oh, very nice. Look at Peach go.
One of your stones will sail right into the belly of the beast. And let's get those.
Is Elaine in those bow shots included?
If you
I
have
think
a bow,
that the
you should
damage
be
is
making
1d4.
I have a longbow.
Right?
Okay, I'm just going
1d4?
to longbow.
You just got a.
So that's for the archers, who all miss, and then I don't get anything for bows. I don't think.
1d4
To
plus
hit.
1, Crumb.
Oh, okay. Plus one.
Yeah, plus
So
1.
3.
Perfect.
Woo!
Lane, second shot.
Do you do more
we
damage
getting
on a
to-
crit there, Peach?
Did I what?
She does not crit. She needs to roll a natural 18 or higher and clear
Oh.
by 5.
I see.
But the fire elemental's AC is quite high. And you're all rolling at -5, so Elaine with a
It would be an 18, right?
23 would become an 18
minus
would be a hit. Yes, you will hit on a 19.
Alright.
Everyone else needs a 20. So go ahead, Elaine, roll your damage. Excellent. Between Crumb's stone and Elaine's arrow that plummets into the fire elemental, its HP will move like that.
Okay, I have to scroll
Sorry,
in,
one
but I don't
second.
think that's what's happening.
One second, Neal. What the fuck is that? Did that
Can we
move?
just zoom in?
Let's see what the fire
God, I wish
elemental
you could have
does in
2 colors.
response. The fire elemental does this in response. It just sort of moves that way.
Is it possible for us to drive it? Is my question.
Well, if we can get that thing just away from us, that works too. We don't necessarily have to kill it.
That is what we're going to do, right? So let me think. I don't know what the bigger scale is. Is there a possibility to triangulate it in a way where we make sure the fire doesn't come down the mountain? Like, which direction would we drive the fire elemental?
You want to encourage the fire elemental to move away from town.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's
I
go
think
to a
theoretically like this.
quick world map or a regional map. And we can see that we are out in the grasslands away from town. Away from town could be a lot of things. We could be going away from town towards the mountains, away from town along the coast, away from town towards the ocean. Which away
I
from
think
town,
towards
if
the
it matters?
mountains, I would think.
You want to kick it back up the mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it has moved away a little bit. Why don't we... There's a lot of dice. Yeah. Why don't everyone take another shot? We've used 4 arrows. 4 slings. Let's shoot again. See what happens. 2 hits. 3 hits.
And I have to roll Elaine as well.
Oh, excellent shot there, Peach.
Fucking finally. Jesus. I've been rolling so bad this entire campaign.
Oh my god, I rolled 32 times in a row. Goddamn.
Excellent. So with 2 more arrows in a sling stone passing right into the elemental.
Yeah, I'll zoom in.
it's-
I want to see it move.
All right. Take a look at its HP bar real closely, everyone.
Do
Ready?
we have to roll damage for the
Okay.
bowman,
Yes,
or did you roll
yes,
it?
we need the damage to be rolled. I can't move the HP without
Okay.
knowing the damage.
2 different ones, I guess.
2d6, please, plus
Sorry,
Peach's
just-
5.
Uh-huh.
5 and 6 is 11.
Okay, I'm
There
ready.
you go.
I didn't see
Did
anything.
you do
Is
something?
it moving?
And it moves in the party's direction.
Oh,
Quickly
wow.
this time. Much
Oh,
faster
lovely.
than it was moving
Wonderful.
away.
Sorry, did you already take off the HP?
I did.
Can you put on the original one again, just so I can see it on scale?
Absolutely not.
God damn, I can't tell.
No, I was
If you
watching
have
it.
to
I don't
see-
see it
If you have
moving.
to zoom all the way out for the map, you can't tell if the HP bar moves or not.
Well,
No.
it moves.
It's lost about 1%, I would say.
It moves like 120 feet in your direction at the end of that round.
Can we even run that fast?
Yes, you can. It seems to have a movement speed not dissimilar to your own. But now the question is, it's getting closer. At medium range, you only shoot at -2. At medium range, it's much easier to hit for anyone who has a bonus to hit. Do we stay at medium range so we can get better hits on it? Or do we keep our max distance?
I've been observing it. I just want to know, has it taken damage?
You tell me. What does it look like?
You've
been hitting it.
I've been zoomed out enough that I can't tell.
You made
I've
it
been
already.
zoomed in enough, and I haven't seen anything
out all the
Vincent,
way.
the character, has been staring at it as
It
it's
looks
been...
like it has not taken any damage. That's what
yeah,
it
but
looks
it's
like.
170 yards away. That's really far, you know, and you just got your regular human eyes. Man, it must be hard to tell if a
Alright.
piece of fire is injured.
Yeah, you
as
can't
it's
tell.
moving towards us, I'll kind of shout out to Elaine and be like, "Stop firing and run! Run away from the town so that we draw it out. If it's coming after us and we all run, well, I don't know if I can run fast enough, but I think it might follow us if we just start sprinting away. Maybe take shelter in a body of water."
Does Vincent say anything?
Oh,
Does he
okay.
react because he had a question? Okay, group up. We're moving out, and we're going to run perpendicular
And
towards the mountains,
I,
like northeast, please.
You want to
at
run?
my max speed, can I run faster than that thing? Because I'm a halfling.
I don't think we know what its max speed is yet.
It
your
might just be
current running
casually
rate-
strolling over.
Yeah, at the rate that it moved, you could keep up with it or outrun it if it doesn't move any faster than that. If you keep running.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna go northeast.
Yes. How
Okay.
does it work with shooting? Can you do, as a bowman, can you do a full move and shoot one arrow, or is it like you can only do a half move and then shoot one?
You
I can't
can only
remember
do a
how it
half
works.
move and shoot one. If you're gonna
Or
do
you
a
just
full
spend the
move-
entire turn walk. Okay, I think we do a full move for the next turn then, just to make,
Excellent.
just to see how it reacts.
Excellent. Love it. And let me just do a little. Oh, the fire elemental has found something that interests it. And that thing is this conglomeration of infantry. And the party will move, and the fire elemental will chase after. Don't worry about the scale. You're still at max range, despite it coming closer to you. I got your back. So I'm not trying to kill you.
Ah, yeah, sure, we'll just trust you. Your HP on your scale. Don't worry
You should
about it.
always trust me. I am a trustworthy DM.
All right. Well, how far did it move in between catching interest? You know, how far was
Another
it?
120 feet.
Which is approximately
good.
our speed, yeah?
That's your walking speed. Yes, not your running speed.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it keeps moving towards you. And the party keeps going northeast towards
Yes.
the mountains.
Yes, and we'll
Excellent.
full move until it, isn't interested anymore.
All right, we're gonna roll. Oh. Well, the thing keeps coming. It seems like something has caught its interest, and it will come after you. And you're gonna spend the next 10 minutes moving in the direction of the mountains. And as you go northeast, oops, that's there we go. Let's just regroup our party.
Just if we look into the direction of the mountains and there's a second one coming, I would like to know, okay? I'm just saying that.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. They're very bright
Yeah.
objects. You can see them from far away. Even as the sun has come up and is illuminating the land, the sources of fire are still distinct and unique, and not hard to spot at all. So as our party goes northeast, our elemental kind of comes along and then will end up sort of behind you after 10 minutes of running. I'm just going to move the elemental relative to you. Now you're heading up towards the mountain. Fire goes uphill. The elemental's going to be behind you and downhill. As you approach the mountains, they'll still take like half an hour to an hour to get to, depending on stuff. But as you're approaching the mountains, you are going to be chased up the mountains by the fire elemental, aren't you?
Yeah,
I think-
Well, that's up to the
well-
fire elemental.
I think we've
I do-
zeroed it. I mean, once we're at the point where we're near the mountain and it's starting to get, steeper, I think we're at the point where we should start booking it. So run speed instead of walk speed. I think we've been walking the whole time.
Okay.
Well, the
Excellent.
problem is fire travels faster if you keep running uphill, so its flames might actually be catching up with us. So I don't want to go straight uphill, but I want to go like in a diagonal way, just to slow down the
Excellent.
flames a little bit.
Excellent. We're just going to come on back to this map. Give ourselves a nice little zoom in over here.
Oh, now we zoom back in. Okay.
And where is... So we're going to have our little elemental down here, and we're going to get a... Where is... Krob, you're the first token I found, so you get to represent the whole party.
Good.
But we're going to take off your bars for a moment. There we go. All right, so the party starts heading up the mountain, or towards the mountain, and the fire elemental seems to be following. After, those first 10 minutes, it begins to lose its interest in you. And it goes 1, 2, 3, and it begins to head southeast, which is actually the direction of town.
Okay.
Now we
volley.
Volley?
I guess we try to volley at another time to get his attention back.
Excellent. Everyone give me a volley.
Volley arrows.
How many do
Sad.
Misses. Misses.
Misses. I have to roll a leg.
Misses. Every shot misses. And the elemental makes its way southeast some more. The party can go after it and take another series of shots. This is going to be our 1, 2, 3, 4. We've done 4 volleys. Well, 4 double volleys, technically, which is 8. This will be 9 and 10. You can carry about 20 arrows, so this will be about half our ammunition expended by the time we finish the second round. This next round right here.
Did we only carry 20 arrows apiece? I'd think that if we were shooting like this, I was expecting to have more.
All right, 40 arrows. That's double quivers. That's
Great.
one on each hip. That's about as much as you can reasonably carry and still move without dropping everything. So
I think we should start shooting from medium distance.
please, everyone, give me attacks or move up to medium range.
I guess we can half move forward and then take 1 round of shots, yeah?
Okay.
'Cause-
You move to medium
yeah.
range, and then you can all make 1 shot.
What do I have to roll in order to hit now?
You're going to be firing at -2. You need an 18 to hit.
Okay.
So what's your bonus to hit? Your bonus with your sling is 3 -2. So you need to roll a natural 17.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Misses. Misses.
Oh, I accidentally rolled 2.
Yeah, we'll
But
just
the
take your
first
first
one
one, which
counts?
is a
Okay.
hit. And at -2, it's a 21, which is not a crit. So roll me just a little bit of damage.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can deal damage sometimes with a bow. It does happen.
Ooh.
Are you looking at the HP bar, people? Because I can't see it.
Vincent's
Okay.
done nothing but observe the whole time. He wants to know if the fire elemental looks wounded at all.
Vincent is having a hell of a time telling if the fire elemental is wounded at all. It doesn't show any traditional signs of wounds. It's not stumbling. It's not like losing mass. It doesn't really have mass. It is spreading fire everywhere it goes. So maybe it's taking damage and then healing damage from the fire around it. Or maybe the things are not doing any damage to it whatsoever. But it doesn't seem to be suffering any visible impacts. Do you have another solution?
I think just drawing it out of where it is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like, even if we can't kill it, I mean, that doesn't necessarily matter. As long as we get it away from town.
Well, this last set of attacks did seem to intrigue it, and it will continue its pursuit of the players in this direction. For another 17 minutes, it will chase after you. Moving at a nice clip, moving at a movement rate of 12, so 120 feet per round, which is your walking speed. But as it goes, it leaves these trails of fire, and the trails of the fire begin to expand and grow in different directions. And let's see which way the wind is blowing. Would you, from dear old Crumb, would you roll me a 1d8 for the wind direction today?
And what's the worst number I could roll?
The worst thing that you could roll would be a 1, 2, or 3.
Great. Thank
3.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The
Excellent.
worst you could roll is like 3 out of 8. Okay,
Yeah. Because you don't want the winds to be blowing in your direction, and that's about
Yeah.
a quarter of all
that's
possible
fine.
directions. Yeah.
Mhm. You knew what
Great.
you were doing when you asked me to roll.
Because 1 is northeast,
God hates me.
2 is east, 3 is southeast. So the winds are coming down off the mountains right now. So the fires that are coming off the elemental are sort of headed this way, but the fires that were on the mountain earlier are headed this way. It's not actually going to, based on the wind patterns, like the fire won't catch you. You'll be able to escape any fires that might be coming down the mountainside. But that does also mean if you need to flee, you only have this one direction to go. You only have east. You don't really have south towards the creature or anything like that. Funsies. Excellent. So it'll chase you for 17 more minutes as you head up to the mountains. 17 and 7, 24, plus the 2 rounds earlier, 26. And walking speed, it'll take you another half hour to get to the base of the mountains. But we're going to need another piece of bait because after a while, it loses interest again. Are we at max range? Are we at medium range when we
I
make
think
another
we're trying
attacks?
medium because max range is costing us too many arrows a week to have to keep
Excellent.
Yeah.
this going for a
What's
while.
Excellent.
it
Yeah.
doing after losing interest? Just heading back towards the south for some reason?
It moves when it loses interest. It just started heading like northwest.
Oh, we've succeeded, I say.
Okay, we'll wait and we'll have a look at which direction it's going. I guess we'll follow
Yeah.
it
It goes
at long range.
northwest for 3 or 4 minutes before it just starts heading straight north.
We did it, I cheer. Let's head back to town.
I think we should wait a little bit more, like for half an hour, and see if it comes back, turns around. It moves very erratically. I don't trust it that much.
All right. After another 5 minutes, it begins to head due south again.
God damn.
There's nothing we can do. It's a force of nature, I say.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
run away.
Well, I don't think that we can really kill it. Seems like it's kind of strong.
Well, the last one we saw eventually disappeared again. They're not here regularly. Maybe at some point it will leave, but I'd rather be there when it leaves than have it come to town.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I would like to do another medium range volley, Neal, if that's possible.
Please.
All right.
What's our status? Like, are we pressed right up against the mountain? Or do we have no
No,
escape?
You're about 20 minutes from the mountains at this pace.
Okay.
So you're still sort of in
Sure.
the flatter areas. It's becoming slightly more hilly. Excellent shot.
Is it
Crom.
half? Is it half
Excellent.
shots or is it 2 shots, Neal? Sorry.
You kind of get
I
to
guess we have-
decide at this point.
Yeah,
whether
I
you
think
want, like,
I think
retake.
we'll take the 2 shots medium range. I think we have time. Right? We observe it. I
Yeah.
think there's enough time in that situation.
Plenty of time. Yeah. Excellent. Roll me. I think these people only need 19. So 3d6, Elaine, plus Peach's 5, plus whatever Elaine herself rolls. And I'm noticing that Vincent a man who does have spells at his disposal is not using them at all.
I don't have anything suitable for this.
So let's see what.
Maybe I should cast Fireball at the fire elemental. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know, dude. I just know that you have spells and...
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing suitable. No mind controlling spells, no damaging spells,
No, I'd love to mind
no
control
healing
fire elemental.
spells, no...
I think that's one hit. I think.
Yes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is a hit.
Oh, 1 damage. Excellent.
Oh, yes. This plethora of damage will cause our
That's
lovely
8.
little fire elemental to start
Plus.
beelining right back towards the party.
All right. How much damage did we deal? 8 plus Crumb. How much did you deal, Crumb?
I dealt 5.
So 13.
1, 2, 3.
If that
Well, you
deals
did
any damage.
11 plus 5. Yeah.
It looks like a good amount hit the elemental
16,
there.
okay.
Can we watch the health bar move?
Yeah, it's not moving anywhere.
I see.
Definitely not moving anywhere. It's definitely not doing any damage. You've pumped a lot of arrows and sling stones into this creature, and it does not seem to be even phased by them, but it does seem to be attracted by them. I don't know why that is. Any thoughts on why the fire elemental might be interested in the slings and arrows?
Because it loves wood and it's a snacky snack.
Because when
It's like
someone
throwing peanuts at a monkey. That's what's happening.
It could also be, I don't know if fire elementals can turn rock into molten stuff, but it could be like cool, you know, like
it's because when you tap someone on the shoulder, they turn around and look at you.
All right, party. You head up the mountain. The elemental moves and chases. It'll follow you for another 20 minutes.
Okay.
You are now approaching the end of the foothills and the base of the mountain. You are now due north of town. What are we gonna do?
Okay. Well, there's no pass here, so we're going to keep going east, yeah? I mean, there's no way to
You're just gonna
get over the mountains.
Lead
Is
it
there?
along. You could try to just climb mountains, but it would be hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't even have climbing gear, so I think
Yeah.
we'll just go... Yeah, we'll keep going towards Lake Casitas, you know?
All
I mean,
right.
at some point, the water elementals and the fire elementals had a fight there, so maybe...
But Lake Casitas is a day and a half away. You're not going to be able to walk all
I'm
day.
saying we're walking in the direction, Neal. I'm not saying we'll make it there.
All right. Well, it's chasing.
I'll tell the archers to hold their shots, and I'll be shooting in case it loses interest.
What's the plan here? As we spent a couple of hours in game being chased by a fire elemental.
I think we should head home and hope it doesn't go in this direction.
Yeah, but what is... It
Yeah,
doesn't...
stop
Hope
feeding
it
it
doesn't
snacks.
go, like... You know, what kind
Look.
of defensive tactic is
Here,
that?
let me elaborate. Since the last time I almost got
I would
executed.
appreciate that, because I don't want to be burnt to a crisp, because you didn't feel like doing anything.
So to elaborate, sometimes there's nothing you can do but hope that it doesn't do something. And I think that that's what we're going to do. We're going to hope that it doesn't go south. If you have any gods, now would be the right time to pray to them.
And last time I prayed to the gods, we had, if I remember correctly, a storm that almost drowned all of us.
Oh,
we
that's good.
fought
Maybe you
another
can
big
Oh, that as
elemental.
well.
maybe you can pray to the same storm god.
That
We
sounds-
need a storm.
A storm god would be amazing right now. Well, it would help this situation and then cause more problems in other ways.
Are you serious?
I'm saying it can't hurt. I'm saying we should just go home, but if you feel like praying, feel free.
I'll look at the elemental.
And if the fire elemental decides to go our way, we'll just have to relocate east.
It's 300 feet away. Now's the time to stop and pray.
I mean, we're moving east.
Mhm.
We're praying and running.
It is still following us, or is it losing interest right now?
At the moment, it's following you.
Yeah, so we have to keep going anyways, you know, like,
Great, yeah.
and wait.
Great. Okay, you get, maybe a little bit east of town, just a smidge east of town, when the fire elemental begins to move more upward, finding a section of mountain, some nice chaparral, and moving into the binds of the madrone and manzanita, setting it aflame.
Do you think that we could get him to go to where the orcs are? Fuck their shit up.
Well, if it keeps going that direction, then it will. We'll hope it does that.
The pass
Now
is like
I'm going to pray to the gods, and I'm going to go, please, Lord, my name's Krob, and I really hope that you get that fire elemental and that he kills all of the orcs in that direction.
Which, there's a lot of gods. Any particular type of god that you might be praying to, like a destruction god, a life god, a fear god? What sort of...
Tell
I'm
Crumb,
praying to the...
it's fashionable to pray to justice today.
I'll close my eyes and I'll say, I pray to the justice god then for justice, because the orcs are awful and I want them all to burn in a fire and die.
Excellent. Excellent. I love it. It starts moving up the mountain. Sounds like we're just waiting and watching.
Crumb, you did it! I cheer as I kind of antsily tilt my body towards Santa Barbara.
I look at Vince, I'm like, wait, my prayer was answered?
You did it, Crumb!
Mm-hmm. It begins to move westward, away from the party, along the base of the mountains.
Thank you, dear Lord Justice God. I appreciate that you were going to turn those orcs into orc jerky. Thank you.
What time is it, Neal? What time of day is it?
Oh, it's been maybe 3 hours at this point. So 3 hours from around sunup. So we're around 10 o'clock in the morning. September. 9 o'clock.
Seeing Elaine's consternation, Vincent will say, it's not like I want to just go to Santa Barbara and do nothing, but it's that we can't do anything. And
well, if they eventually disappear, then we just need to bide our time, right? If they do stay eternally, then
why do
we're
you
in
think
trouble
they'll
no matter
disappear?
what. Because we've seen the lights before and they did disappear last time. And the villagers said this is a very unusual circumstance. Sometimes you see lights up the mountains, we know that, but
yeah, they
might
just
go
got
back in. They might just be rattled due to the earthquake. So we might just have to bide our time, make sure none come close to town, and they might disappear again. You know where I think they're coming from? I think they're coming from right from underneath that fort. You know when it got really warm there? I have a feeling like that's where they're coming from.
when it got warm in the fort. You'll have to remind me of
when we went underneath Fort Kachuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got flooded in there, and if we would have walked further down the tunnel, it's gotten really warm.
I see.
So my guess is they are from us somewhere underneath the mountains, and if we just keep them like away from town, they might return to that place.
Yeah, we can't really keep them from town, so I guess there is a way. We'll move the town if they get closer.
Okay. Excellent. We head to town, it sounds like. We let the elementals do their own. You've lured it away from this area, back up the mountain, at least towards the mountain, where hopefully the fires will spread up that way, or at least since the winds are blowing southeast, if it's up here, the fire will spread this direction, whereas when it was over here, the town was literally in the path of the flame. So
yeah, I guess we'll have to take the little win. Killing it does not seem possible, and we don't know how much time it'll take for it to disappear or lose interest. And if we stick around, it might just never lose interest, you know? It might just genuinely be attracted to us and just keep staying.
Okay. Well, we head back to town, and when we get back to town, we can see that the place is a mess. When you have a wave of this height bringing silt and debris with it, the town got wet, but also there's now like an inch of mud and muck covering everything. Every building in town is damaged or destroyed between the earthquake and the flood. And there's now like, salt water in all of the farms, and there's a boat sitting on someone's property, and the whole everything is just a whole mess. Now your fort is actually built on higher ground, high enough that the fort is fine, except for the collapsed walls and everything. But the town itself is in some trouble. But luckily, you can wait for the day. You can watch the fires burn out on the mountains, slowly going up and then either burning themselves out or vanishing on the other side, leaving us with a little bit of repair work and a little bit of cleanup in and around town. And while we do our repair work and cleanup, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back on the other side of the break with a little bit more Rise of Drekis, Chapter 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rise of Drekis, Chapter 2. We're going to get
Barbecue.
a day of rest. Not just this day after the fire elemental stuff, but the next day. A day of cleanup is also a day of rest for us. But it's the next day. Problems arise again.
So am I getting 3 HP or?
Probably 2. I imagine you're not getting full bed rest. I imagine with all of the flooding and storming and everything, you probably have duties. The first thing that's going to happen on Saturday the 20th is Lord Campbell will come on through town and survey the damages. You'll notice he's walking with a bit of a limp, but he'll poke his head around and see what's up. After he dismounts his lovely little horse, not very gracefully. He doesn't look like a great horseback rider.
I'll approach him, I guess, and I'll say, Lord Campbell, did you get hurt in the earthquake?
Well, you betcha. Whole building came tumbling down. Or most of it.
So the estate is destroyed then?
It's certainly not destroyed. But yeah, sort of. It's a mess. One of the wings is gone.
I'm sorry to hear it. It was a beautiful place, but at least, I guess, you're safe now.
He shrugs. Well, no one came to help. You gotta take care of yourself. I mean, my assistants, servants helped quite a lot. But, no one from town came to check on us, and
I'll point.
We
I'll
took
point
care of
towards
ourselves.
towards the mountain line, and I'll say,
The mountain
I'll
lion?
inform line, like
Oh,
you know,
line.
wherever the hell. Yes.
I thought you said the mountain
No,
lion.
not the lion.
Roar.
Lion. Oh god. And I'll say, after the earthquake, fire elementals started descending down the mountains. We had to lure them away, to make sure not everything would be set on fire. I apologize that neither myself nor my men could check on the estate, but we were worried that we might lose the entire town to a large forest fire.
That makes total sense. And it all worked out, right? It's fine. What's a hairline fracture between lives? It's fine.
You seem hurt. Not, just the hairline fracture. So I apologize if I did anything wrong.
I'm sorry. Who are you and what happened to Elaine? Where's the valiant leader? Who is this kind person that I'm talking to?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting...
You're getting sappy.
Listen, these are confusing times, okay? So I don't want you to be hurt, but I have priorities. What can I say? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm the military leader and I have to take care of things. Sometimes this is what it looks like.
I don't know if you're cracking under pressure or if you're warming up to me.
Must be
Very
the fire
lucky.
elementals. All right.
Okay.
Enough chit chat. You want to have a look around town?
Yeah, he looks around town. He doesn't have anything to say. He's just poking around, seeing what's up.
All right.
There's something else that's going to happen this day, but I want to give the party any opportunity to discuss anything among themselves before this next event arises.
So I think we moved all
yeah.
the soldiers into town currently, right? Like the fort is empty. There's no holding back. We've moved all the stuff out of there, I take it. That was usable still, Neal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could have unburied building sections and pulled out supplies and whatnot.
I'll discuss with the rest of the party. If we ever get in contact with the orcs or Geraldine, we should lie and say we summoned the fire elementals on them.
Oh, how good are you at lying, Vincent?
I can hold my own.
Well, if we get to face Geraldine, I doubt she's going to talk to us.
Who knows? Maybe she'll be on our doorstep any day with a surrender. They can't have fared that well if any fire elementals went their way.
Well, I hope the jungle is doing all right. It might be the jungle of death, but I don't want anything to happen to those nareds and creatures that we've seen. All right, we'll keep the guards up. Half the guards, rest people will rest and recover and take their breath and restock on their arrows, I guess.
Excellent. 4 hours later, you're in town. You found a building that has been too destroyed by flooding to be repurposed for its needs and has become like your makeshift barracks. You've brought in what beds you can, what materials you can to make it a livable place, but it's extra cramped quarters and not particularly defensible. It's a shitty spot, but it's the best you can do for the time being. When you hear a familiar voice, goes, Elaine? Mistress Elaine?
I'll look down.
See nothing. I'm right here, Madam Elaine.
I'll follow the voice. I guess. Do I see Krob around?
Yeah, Crumb's over there. She's getting some rocks out of. No, she doesn't wear shoes. She's putting rocks in someone else's shoes. I don't know what Elaine's Crumb's doing.
She's putting rocks. I'll just look. Oh, she's putting rocks into someone else's
Don't let me
shoes.
put words in your mouth, Crumb, but that just seems like something you might do if you were bored.
Yeah, that's what I don't like one of the fucking bow and arrow men. He looked weak. So I collected some jagged rocks and I'm secretly putting it in his shoes.
Seems about right. I'm right here, Elaine.
Okay, I'll move over.
I have a message for you.
Okay, where is he? Like,
I'm right
can
here.
I tell by the voice how close they are?
Yeah, they're close. They're within, definitely within 10 feet of you somewhere. Maybe 15 if they're really projecting. They're right around here, but there's definitely not visible.
Okay. Can I recognize Nook Nook's voice?
Absolutely, no questions asked.
All right. I'm going to sit down in an inconspicuous place, lean my back against the wall. I'll look around and I'll just think to myself, God, I hate invisibility. Life was better before I've ever known it. Now I have to talk to an invisible goblin. Okay.
I bring you a message from her tremendous majesty and graciousness, Geraldine Silverworth.
She's not a majesty, Nook Nook. She is just a wizard.
You can tell her that.
Are you safe?
Yes?
Why did you walk away from us?
I have a message from the magnificent and all-powerful
Yes, I get it. And I'll take the message once you answer my question. Isn't that your job? To give me the message? So,
Yes.
you answer my question and then I'll hear your message. It's a fair deal.
Yes. Okay.
So, we gave you your freedom. Why did you walk away from us?
Cause she's told me to.
Wow. He's such an intellectual.
And you did not
She's-
want to stay with us? You did not want to be a leader of your people?
She scares me more than you do. She showed up. She couldn't see. I couldn't see her. She was just a voice, and she told me what to do, and then she made me invisible, and I had to do it because otherwise she's stronger than you.
Yeah, are we in the area? Can we see Elaine talking with someone?
Well, you definitely heard Nook's voice go, Elaine! And then, like,
Oh,
Elaine
yeah.
walked
Oh,
outside.
okay, then Crumb
Um,
fucking runs out. She's gonna kill this goddamn goblin.
Yeah. Me and Vorgen will head up that way too.
Yeah, I think you guys can, after looking around, being like, was that Crumb? Or not Crumb, was that Nook? What the hell? You can come outside of the spot you're in and see Elaine in an alleyway.
Over these last few days, I've been thinking about the invisibility spell. Are you aware of the duration of the spell?
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a day,
Okay.
right?
It's a day.
Yes.
Great.
So, the message is that she wants to party.
She
Just
wants
He wants to
Parlay.
parlay. He wants to parlay.
She says to bring all your leaders together and meet her outside of town today. Like right now. Like I'm supposed to take you there right now.
How are you supposed to take us? We can't even tell where you are.
I'm right here.
Nook, you're invisible. We can't see you.
Oh. How do I stop it?
Slap me.
Yeah.
Okay. You feel a kick, not a slap, on your shins, and Nook appears before you, Crumb. You see him. You know exactly where he is. That shitty little goblin.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up to him, and does he have? I'm gonna grab his fucking ear, and I'm gonna take out my dagger. I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Oh no! Oh no! Please! I'm protected! I'm protected by a magic mage!
What the fuck does that mean?
I've got magical protection on me. You can't hurt me. She said that I couldn't get hurt by
Yeah.
you.
And you want to see us try? You think that she wouldn't lie to you, a little fucking goblin? You think that she'd waste her precious magic on you?
She made me invisible.
Yeah, she did. So that you would probably not die. You think she'd waste anything else?
Yes.
Okay. You want to test it out? Yeah.
No,
Do you want to
no,
test it?
no,
I can test it. We can
no,
see if it's real. If you
please,
want to take that
no.
chance. I have it right here. I have my dagger at his throat.
Elaine. Vincent.
Why the fuck would you run? You're working with the enemy?
Do you know why Crumb? Do you know why Crumb is upset, Nook?
No.
Because she was a stern advocate for killing you back then. She thought you were weak, and she thought you were a traitor, and she thought you were a liability. But then she changed her mind because you stood up for yourself, and you were brave, and you faced great obstacles, and you've been helpful. You've been your own person, Nook.
Yeah, we love you.
You didn't-
Like, why did you leave us that day?
You didn't rely on anybody else's protection, but you showed that you could, stand your own ground, and that made us trust you.
Well, good. I don't know. What's the right answer?
It's simple. You tell us why you left us that day.
Well, 'cause she scared me. she was all invisible, and she said that she was gonna do terrible things if I didn't follow her instructions. And then, she gave me poisons, and she put the flag, and it was a whole bunch of stuff, and it didn't work out, and she was gonna kill me if it didn't work out. So I ran back to her so I could tell her that it was okay, so that she wouldn't kill me.
Yeah, but aren't you tired of people trying to kill you while you were with us? Nobody tried killing you here.
He looks at Crumb, who's got his ear pulled and a dagger at his throat.
Well, while
I
you were
stopped
with
trying to
us,
kill you when I
not
thought that
after
you were on
you
our
betrayed
side.
us. That's different.
If you just do what everyone says, no one tries to kill you. And so I just did what you said, and you didn't try and kill me. Now I'm doing what Geraldine says so that she won't kill me.
When you were drowning on that bridge, do you remember that day?
Yeah,
Like next to that bridge?
yeah.
If
Yeah.
you are really entirely worthless and you
Yeah.
always have to be a subordinate to somebody else,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't have needed to save you that day. But we saved you because we thought that you have your own will and your own opinion. And just
Yeah.
because you're afraid to voice it sometimes doesn't mean it's not time to speak up in other situations. No.
He lifts his chin. He meets Crumb's eyes.
I don't like you.
I don't like you either, goblin.
Halfling?
Goblin, child eater, fucking abandoner, traitor.
Hairy feet?
Oh, that's
I
a
like
good one.
those.
I bet you do.
I do.
I'll just stand next to them and I will chuckle and I'll say, all right. No,
But your crops suck. I bet you can't grow a potato to save your life.
I can. And I used to grow wheat. And you know what? I bet you can't be good to save your life. You can't even follow an instruction. That's what you're made to do.
I'm following instructions now. You have to come to the party.
Okay, tell us about this party. Where is it, and how many of them are there?
I'm supposed to lead you there. And, yeah.
Okay, how many people are with Geraldine? Can you let's talk before we go to the party.
I'm just supposed to bring you there.
Did she tell you not to tell us?
She said that I'm supposed to invite you to the party and that I'm not supposed to say anything else because I'm so stupid. I'm gonna say the wrong thing and ruin all the plans.
Okay.
And what plans?
There's a talk. She wants to talk.
Okay, was it just the four of us, or did you want all our soldiers to come too?
She said just the important decision makers.
Oh, okay, that includes all of our soldiers.
Okay.
Okay.
And this party, has she been planning anything special? Any special drinks that give us
Yeah, is there
strength like
food?
before?
No, I don't know. She doesn't tell me anything.
Then why is she scared of you ruining it?
Cause I'm dumb. I'm gonna say the wrong thing and give people bad ideas and stupid intelligence, and then they're gonna misunderstand, and then it's all gonna get ruined. I'm just supposed to invite. Anything more than my little stupid goblin brain can't comprehend it.
He says, like, in
That
a
does
quoting
make-
voice.
I
That
kind of like
makes sense.
Geraldine. She's got a point. We should hear her out.
Okay, well, we'll
So
follow you.
if we were to bring some food to the party, knock knock, because if you are an honored guest, you're supposed to bring something to a party, right? Would we need to bring food for the dogs as well? You know, I'm a big animal lover. I don't want them to be left out.
What dog?
Usually an invitation entails the things you need to bring, you know.
Just the smart people. What? Are you bringing dogs? I'm kind of scared
what-
of dogs.
Why are you scared of dogs, no?
Well, they're mean. They ate my sister.
Oh wow.
And you
Sorry to hear that.
survived. What a shame.
I don't like you, Krob.
I don't like you either. I asked you to go dig me a hole to shit in, and then you abandoned us.
Dig your own holes. I thought I was a free person.
Well, you were a free person, and then
I
you
don't have
decided
to
to
dig any
put.
more stupid pit holes.
Yeah, you don't have to bring anybody to any party anymore if you don't want to. No,
Well,
no.
fine. Just let me go.
Well, do you want to go back by
An
yourself?
attitude.
What do you want to do?
Nook, this is not like you. Why do you have an attitude?
Because Elaine said that I don't have to put up with stupid
You
people.
don't have to. I like your attitude. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go to the stupid party?
I want to bring the leaders to where Geraldine said to go so that everyone can have the talk.
Why is it important to you that we have the talk? No.
Because if you don't go, then Geraldine's gonna hang me upside down by my feet for 6 weeks and poke me full
And
of
if she hangs
holes.
all of us upside down by our feet for 6 weeks, you'd be happy about that?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're supposed to use your attitude for that one, and not what we want to hear.
I have good news for you. We'll go, and you don't even have to lead us there. Can you just point on this map or point out where we're going? And we'll go there.
I'm supposed to go back. Otherwise, I get the upside downs again.
They can't hang you upside down if you're not there, Nook.
She found me last time. She came into the town and found me. She'll find me again.
If she's coming
knows.
into the town, I wonder why she didn't come up to us and try to individually kill us or something.
She's just a silly wizard. She can't do that.
She's probably the one that poisoned you. That's what I'd guess.
Well, Nook did.
Nook, was it you that poisoned? Oh, right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Fucking brain
I put
blast.
the berries in the beer? Yes. that was it.
Yep, I remember that now.
How long will we have to travel for, Nook?
It's the other side of the lagoon. I don't know.
Other side of the lagoon.
Less than a half a day.
Okay. Well then, let's get all the soldiers and get ready to party. I tell.
Well, but
Everyone.
all the smart people, right? Just the smarties?
Yeah, the soldiers are the smart people. They make decisions. That's what you wanted, right, Nook?
No.
Geraldine said to bring everyone important who makes decisions. Those
Yeah.
include the soldiers.
Okay. If you say so.
Great. Well, then we'll get everyone and we'll get ready to go.
Okay. Crumb, what do you do with Nook? I assume you're still holding him by his ear until I hear otherwise.
Yeah, I'll because you're closer, and I'll look at him and be like, I've got my eyes on you, Goblin.
Well, I've
My finger on his lips. Yeah.
He tries to bite you,
his ear.
but you are too fast.
I bonk him on his head like you would a cat.
And
You know what a cat tries to
I'm
I fucking
trying to
bonk him.
make
What the fuck
decisions.
is wrong with you?
Oh my god. Listen, small people, can we calm down? All right. I look at Vincent and I say, okay, Vincent, how are we feeling about walking headfirst into an ambush? Did you want to bring a picnic? What are we doing?
Well, we're going to attack them on sight, and we're going to we're going to have Nook hopefully give us a heads up before we arrive there. So we can
So
ambush them for once.
No parley, is what I'm hearing.
Definitely no parley.
Isn't that interesting?
We might
All right.
open up with a fireball, who knows?
who you know, I hope. I
Oh,
hope you
yes.
do.
We might, depending on if we can see them.
All right. Well, let's gather the people and let's move out. I will inform Lord Campbell, so he knows in case we do not return.
Okay.
I'll let those 8 goblin people, I'll ask them, do you want to come fight your former oppressors with us?
You give us swords? You give us
Yeah,
daggers?
bows. Yeah.
They immediately begin speaking in Goblin, and there's lots of like head nods and shakes and all sorts of, language being thrown around very, very quickly. And finally, one of them will turn to you and be like, yeah, give us weapons.
Sure. They've been in the fort wandering around, so
Yeah.
they had pretty easy access to it, but I'll hand them the weapons they want anyways.
Excellent. There's plenty of spare weapons lying around. They can be armed with spears and daggers and swords and short bows, and it's sort of a hodgepodge of what's around. Love it.
I think we don't have that many arrows left, so I really want to have the 2 crew as on our archers, but they can have some spears, and that's fine by me.
Great. Great. So with 8 goblins in tow, Nook in the lead, and all of our soldiers, we're gonna go walk around the lagoon. We're gonna go meet with Geraldine Silverworth for a parley on the other side of our break. See you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. On our way. All of our soldiers.
Oh, one
in
second.
tow.
Hold on. Yes, with the soldiers in tow, we want to have the archers, like, I'll talk to Willow about it. I want to have the archer follow the main group, like, behind. So their medium range is, what do we say, 100 yards, I think? So I want Willa to command that group at, like, 100 yards away from us.
Okay.
Or, as far as they can. I mean, it's probably hard to tell how far ahead we are, but if we keep, like, Elaine will make sure they keep the same pace, I guess, as we walk.
Okay. As you gather everyone up. Oh, yep, go ahead.
Oh, I'll hang out by Nook while we're traveling and tell them, hey, let us know when we're about an hour away. Okay, Nook?
We're about an hour away.
Oh, here, from town.
Yeah. A quarter, half a day? Less than half a day.
Wow. All right, let us know when we're about 10 minutes away.
Okay. Just bus. As you gather everyone up, make sure everyone's got their weapons and their gear and everything's in good condition and everyone's ready to go. It takes, 20 minutes to get everything together. There's another earthquake. A smaller one. An afterquake. It's an aftershake? That's not the term. What's the term?
Aftershock.
Aftershock. Thank you. It's an aftershock. It only lasts a few seconds, but it does tremble the ground. Pretty soon, we can all go. And we're going to take...
I really hope she's not just luring us out of town, so it's, undefended.
Mm-hmm. If you look at this town map, you can see that on this top right side, there's like water, right? This is the lagoon. It's connected to the sea by a narrow waterway, but it is its own sort of brackish environment. And it's pretty big. It's a couple miles across. And what you're going to be doing is essentially taking this little trail here. This ends up wrapping all the way around the lagoon. It goes up north and then all the way to the east and then, spits out on the beach on the other side, making like a U shape or a horseshoe shape around the lagoon. This is the Hollister Trail. And we're essentially just going to be walking along this Hollister Trail, says Nook, because they are on the north side of the lagoon, hidden because there's trees and bushes and shit around the lagoon. You can't see them from here, but they can, Nook tells you, see you from where they are. And when you get, another half mile north of this spot, you come into where the trail kind of evens out and more or less a straight path along the bank of the lagoon. It deviates a little bit from the lagoon shore. And as you begin to walk eastward along the east section of this path, on the northern side of this path, you can see that there is a human rider with plate mail in blue and yellow colors, seated upon a warhorse. I don't think this party has actually ever met Geraldine Silverworth, and I don't think you've met any of her bodyguards, but you did hear about them once upon a time from someone a while ago. And it's one of these bodyguards that you see mounted on the trail as your column approaches. You can see them from pretty far off, from like 100 yards off. You get to a section where as you round a little bit of a bend, you can see that they're, the bush that was blocking them moves to the side. Here's this one person mounted in advance. You can't see Geraldine, you can't see the others. Maybe they're just like hiding in the bush right next to them. Maybe Geraldine and these other people are way further back. Maybe this is a trap and Geraldine is nowhere to be seen. But there is a singular person mounted on a horse in plate mail, human appearing, at a distance of 100 yards.
Well, I don't know what
Probably
shouting
her.
distance is like.
Half that range is shouting distance.
So we can shout
Okay.
200 yards, in other words?
No, 50 yards you can shout.
Oh, wow.
Right? That sounds like if you were in still conditions, you could shout 50 yards, I'm guessing.
I figured it would be longer.
Oh, how far can you...
The question is answered by the Guinness World Records. The intelligible outdoor range of the male human voice in still air is 590 feet.
Oh, wow. That's surprisingly far.
In general, normal speaking voice can travel approximately 60 to 100 feet in an outdoor environment without any obstruction.
Okay. That sounds about right. So
But
we're saying
speaking
it needs
voice,
to
it's
be...
not shouting, right?
Yeah,
Speaking
shouting
is like
voice
this.
around 600 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, well then never mind. Then you can shout at this person as soon as you can see him.
Hello. Not really. Elaine.
Do we
I'll
shout
hail
or
him.
do we march?
No, I'll tell the people to stop and I'll hail. I'd ride her.
They raise a hand and call back. Oh there! Who are all these people behind you?
So this is my troop. Who am I speaking to? My name is Elaine Pentolin. Elaine Pentolin. For some reason this sounds like James Bond. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
I am Xanthar, bodyguard to Geraldine Silverworth. Did you get our message?
Yes, we are here for the party. Well, so.
Leave your army behind, and we can speak.
Who's we? Did the party invitation come from you? Did you want to talk?
He points behind him on the trail. 200 yards that way. Geraldine and the other 3 bodyguards.
Are there any orcs in that group?
You can see the consternation upon his face, but he clearly responds, "There are no orcs there. You have it on my honor."
Can I inside check him about over 100 yards?
Well, he looks like a knight in plate mail on a warhorse. That sounds like that's a pretty good on your honor. On the other hand, this is the Barassi Empire of Death and Destruction who works with orcs and takes slaves. So, if you think a slaver can have honor, then you should believe him. But if you
Okay,
think
I'll
he's
look
a lying
I'll
son of a
look over there.
bitch,
And I'll say, we did send an invitation to parley. You gave us a very clear answer.
things have changed.
So, how so?
This is for Geraldine to discuss with you.
anything to do with the earthquakes?
There are many forces at work. Please leave your men behind and come discuss.
Why should we trust someone who invisibly came to town and tried to get a goblin to poison us? It's not exactly the trust-building kind of exercise that we'd hope for before coming in with no guards. You have to understand that we don't have much credence here for you. We don't trust what you say all the time. Due to the fact of attempted assassination, you could say.
Can I take this as you do not wish to parley?
Could we parley, but also have our guards with us? I think it's a reasonable precaution. I was the one that you almost killed with poisoning.
Yep.
I'll say you can bring your people. We will wait here. And we will wait for a talk.
Our people are not here.
Oh, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
You want to
look
have
at the
us
pass.
trust
What-
you? You should trust
That-
us.
What does the... So, can we do the overland map again? You know,
Yeah.
the other one?
Yeah. We're gonna have
Alright.
to do
I'm
zoom
just-
in at the bottom right-hand corner of this is where we're gonna be looking, because that's our little lagoon map.
Bottom right hand.
That's the lagoon that drained for a moment, but is now back to normal.
Yes, you've walked along this way, and now you're on this like north flat section of a trail. I will draw a trail in brown for us. This is the Hollister Trail, that brown line, and our party, represented this time by Vincent, is right around here, and Geraldine's bodyguard is, well, the scaling is off, but it is nearby.
Do you want, I'll talk to Elaine and group. Do you want us to promise them that we won't harm them, assuming they're just here to talk? And we can swear on our honor that our army won't be attacking them.
I'll say, okay, here's my message. Last time we wanted to parley, you declined the offer. So it is on you to do better this time. I promise, on my very honor, as a Cal of the Drekisian army, that there will come no harm to you should you just want to talk. We will wait here for Geraldine and the other bodyguards, and nobody will harm them if they really just want to talk.
The knight nods and will turn around and take their horse and trot away. Eventually getting to a point where there's, a bunch of trees and bushes and stuff, and pop off the road. And then a few minutes later, they will pop back on the road with 3 more bodyguards and a mounted Geraldine Silverworth.
Ooh.
And the troop of 5 that position themselves something like this. So Geraldine is actually on the trail, and the bodyguards are on her corners, 2 off the trail on one side, 2 off the trail on the other side, will trot down in your direction.
Why does she
Damn.
look like a banshee?
Yeah, she needs to get some sun.
Wow. All right.
She's
okay.
a mage.
She's a vampire. Look at her teeth. Neal, you know what it is? If you see a vampire, they're evil, and you stake them straight away. If
I
they,
agree.
that's
If you
what
think
you
she's
do.
a vampire, you ought to
She's
kill
a
her.
vampire.
She is
a
standing
vampire.
in the sunlight, so probably not a vampire.
She's paler than I
Needs
am.
to do that more
What
often.
poor storytelling is this? Is what I want to know. A vampire in daylight? That's preposterous, Neal. Really.
I mean,
That
it
is
better be a
just
major plot
bad.
point.
Yeah. Homebrew rules are out of
I'm
control right now.
derailing. Okay, tell us what she looks like, because I assume that's not what she looks like.
She's dressed in black. She's got pale skin and light-colored hair. This is the representative token. I mean,
And
maybe not the
fangs?
claws. She doesn't have fangs. Does this token have fangs?
She has fangs. Yes, she does.
Okay,
Have you
minus
seen
the
it?
fangs.
Oh yeah.
Minus the
Sure, what does that
fangs.
say?
Other than
Okay.
that, her appearance looks like a rich person who is hanging out at home. Like she has put herself together in the way that only someone with either time or resources would put themselves together while traveling overland in this sort of situation. She doesn't look like a warrior. She does look like a hoity-toity, fancy-pantsy noble pants.
Okay, I'm going to look at Vincent. I'm going to give him a nod. And I will slowly move forward.
Yeah. Me too?
Do you leave your spearman behind?
Well, she's coming in with 4 bodyguards, right?
Yep.
So I will match her with her 4 bodyguards with 4 spearmen.
Okay. 4 spearmen plus Vincent and Krob and Vordrin.
I don't know if they're coming, if they wanted to come with.
yeah.
I
I'm
didn't.
coming with.
Okay.
Got it. Of course. Of course. Do we grab 1 extra spearman or do we take 4 spearmen on top of the...
No, we're just taking 1. That's fine. We're just matching it, right?
Okay. Perfect.
That's fine.
I think you guys can get to within, maybe 20 feet of each other. Close enough that, you can talk easily, but still
we
with a
walk
little bit of
up,
space.
I've wanted to talk with her forever, so I'll say as we're strolling at each other, my, Geraldine, I've wanted to talk to you since I've landed on this island.
You must be Lord Vincent.
That is I. Though not a lord. No.
I'll
Are you
do
not the leader
tiniest
of this
squints.
expedition?
Sorry, what was that?
Are you not the leader of this expedition?
Oh no, that would be Elaine Pentland.
I'll nod my head towards Elaine as well.
I thought she was your bodyguard, and you were in charge.
Nope.
I shake my head and let Elaine speak.
Oh, I'll just stare at her. I'll say, you declined our invitation last time. What's changed?
The land has become deeply hostile. If we are to all survive through this, or any of us survive through this, it is time we put our differences aside.
Wow, I wanted to do that a few months ago. Or 8 months ago? How long has it been?
Well, it's been before
While?
you were almost poisoned, Vincent, if I remember correctly. I think that's the timeline. You wanted to talk, and then she tried to murder you using a goblin, so that would be just before that.
Yes,
I was
and that
wondering.
didn't work, did it?
No, it did not.
Your assassinations didn't work either, did they?
What happened to your
Yeah.
orcs? I'll look around.
They're situated... No. I have 100 orcs at the base of the mountains. If they do
Alright.
not hear from me by day's end, they will storm into the city and kill every creature, man, woman, and child that they can find.
All right.
There is no retreat. Our fortress is destroyed. Our supplies are near to nothing. We are backed into a corner. There is one moment, one opportunity for us to make our way. And should that fail, I think you know the ruthlessness of orcs would see your people smashed to bits.
Well, did you want to parley or did you want to threaten us?
We want to establish our base before moving forward. But with that said, you have our ship, you have our slaves, you have our goblins. Give them to me, and we will leave.
Can I check how nervous she is?
Yeah, give me a charisma check.
If I find a sheet.
Well,
25.
if her fortress has been destroyed and they're out of supplies, and yet she's bothered to put herself together in like her noble dress and, you know, put her hair up in that beehive style bun. I don't know if that is nervousness or if that is like complete composure and calm. And she's telegraphing like, I have my things together. I'm confident in my assessments. I'm facing my future pretty carefully. She seems to be confident in her assertions. She doesn't seem to be quaking in her boots.
All right. So what is the offering that's on the table? The offer, Geraldine.
Give me my goblins, my slaves, and my ship, and we will leave these lands.
Forever.
I shall leave these lands, and I shall head home. I cannot promise anything about the future.
You'll take all your men with you.
Yes. Our position is untenable. We could fight you. We could kill you. But the risk to ourselves is great. And I don't think this is a place I wish to stay. The quakes, the elementals, the changes, the hostility of the land is not for us.
So what have you found in your research of the ley lines then? If you do not care to return to this land, surely you don't need to keep that to yourself, do you?
I think we all understand that this is an unusual place. New lands crafted, yet old in form. Our citadel is ancient, thousands of years old. I think this is a land once occupied by the living, thrust beneath the sea and raised one more time. I think it is still in the act of being formed. I think the earthquakes, the storms, the fires are representations of the closeness of this land to the primordial planes. The ley lines are cracks between realities through which elemental forces slip. There may be pockets and moments of stability, but fire, water, air, and earth move. Dreams flow readily. Hells infest thoughts. Creatures are enchanted and twisted. It is not a place for the living.
Did you cause the lands to become hostile to you due to your actions?
That is the question of a coward. The lands are hostile. Period.
Is it because you killed the Nareds?
She slowly turns and reaches into a shawl, or into a bag, and pulls out what appears to be a damp and wet shawl. And it looks very similar to the type of thing that you saw a couple of Nareds wearing. And as she does, she will call out, and coming from the lagoon nearby will emerge a Nared without a shawl, which puts her in quite a state of nudity. But, you know, she's an elemental, so she doesn't give a shit. The Nereids are petty, small, easy creatures. They are not a threat. They are easily captured. And she shakes the shawl and tells the Nereid to like lay prone on the ground, and the Nereid lays prone on the ground. And then she tells the Nereid to get up and stand on one leg, and the Nereid gets up and stands on one leg. She tells the Nereid to go back in the water.
We get the message, thank you.
You're not going to be needing that, are you?
I will take her home with me. She's mine.
I'll ask the Nared, do you want to go home with her?
The Nereid does not reply. It's in the water up to its neck, and it just shuts the fuck up.
I'll whisper in Elaine's ear and say, the deal should be she leaves with what she came with. She doesn't take from this land. Because if this is going to remain our land, anything that she takes, such as the Nereds, might further disrupt it for the future.
If we are to remain and you are to leave, then the Nereid should stay with us here.
Is that your offer? Full and complete?
Well...
I'll whisper in Elaine's ear, and I will roll my eyes, and I will say, the knock-knock.
God, I'll just stare back at Krob. I can't... Okay. Like... For Elaine, it is very hard how we are saying there's no negotiating. We're going in, and then like 5 seconds later, everybody's like, but can we talk about the goblin? Do we get the goblin? And I'm just like, losing my mind.
Well, I'll add...
Crumb's not happy about it, but she's not even asking for him. She's rather reminding. She's like, no, knock. Like, it's something that we have to bring up. We have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right, so on the meta level, right, we have the following problem. These people are evil as shit. They are slavers, right?
Yep.
They treat these people absolutely terribly. They threaten, they torture, they kill.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, now we have to decide, do we want to be on the morally correct side in the sense of we have good intentions? Do we want to be on the morally good side of having good consequences? Or do we want to do what's right? Those are our choices.
Yeah, the worst case is that we try to kill them all, and we fail, they get the ship anyways, and it's all fucked. Real fucked.
It's the worst case, yeah.
Yeah, if Geraldine gets on her boat and fucks off, I guess it doesn't stop them from coming back again in the future. Oh, well, they wouldn't come back here, but they wouldn't be, like, defeated. The survivability of the situation.
Nothing stops them from coming back. You know, she's a big talker. Nothing.
I mean, when you look at her, she clearly doesn't want to come back here.
She could be lying. She could say that she doesn't have any intention of coming back when really she just wants to go back to her mainland, gather more troops, gather more supplies, come back when they're restocked because they do have to rebuild. But that her thing of, oh, it's not worth it, might not be true.
Look at her. It's clear she is out of her element. Well, it sounds like she's willing to negotiate, so we could ask for, let's see, can you repeat what she asked for in total?
She wants her goblins, her slaves, and her boat.
Okay, I think we can give her the boat. The goblins and the slaves would be a no-go, as well as the Nared. Also,
I'll lean forward.
He's not going to be able to, but the ship requires the slaves, to be clear, to function.
Well,
she's got orcs.
She does have 100 orcs. She doesn't need the slaves to row, right?
That's true.
I remember one of her orcs telling us about her temple findings. Maybe we could ask for one of those too.
What
Something she found in the
findings?
ruins. I remember one of the orcs was bragging about some sort of Vorpal sword.
What? Vorpal sword, guys. It's not happening.
Goblins,
Okay.
slaves, and Vorpal sword. So many.
Well, we could ask her what she found in there. We'll start with that.
Yeah, see if she's honest.
I'll start with that, with your
Okay.
permission, Elaine.
Sure.
So after our little discussion, I'll tell her. Between wizard and wizard, I have great interest in your findings in the ruins that you were searching.
We've searched many ruins. Can you be more specific?
Some of the previous orcs we've met with have bragged about some of your artifact findings, treasures. Can you tell us about the wonders of the land?
There was a trident found on one of the islands. Its wielder needed to be put down. Their body and the trident were tossed into a crevasse.
Why would you waste such a trident?
My most loyal bodyguard, I gifted it to. A great honor, a great reward. But as I said, this land is filled with cracks between this plane and others, and through it seeps elementals and dreams and terrors. Through either the trident or one of these cracks in the earth, some fae, some fiend, some creature from beyond grabbed hold of my most loyal and trusted man's mind, contorted it, twisted it, turned his otherwise stable senses into childish joy and pleasure over deeds darker than I have seen. I do not know if the trident is to blame or if it was the lands we were walking upon, but I would not risk it again. I buried those evils where I could.
I'll pull out our map of this land and ask Geraldine about if she could point at the island and if she could mark the area.
That would require her to walk all the way up to you, right? Everyone's at like 20 feet right now. For her to point out something on a map brings
We're
you
not
into
that
like
friendly right now.
So she, when you offer, she looks at you, right? And it's a bit of a moment. And she begins to move her horse forward, and one of her guards sort of like reaches out in like a no, don't do that sort of way. But she will ride past
I'm building
him.
rapport.
Does she knock him
try
on
to
bunches and bind his hands? No.
I'll try to meet her halfway, and I'll walk forward with the map.
She will point it out on one of the islands. I can't remember which island it was. Hold on, let me look up. Let's see. Here it is. Wow, is this one really? Anna-Kappa Island. She will point down to this island right here. You have to scroll up slightly. This one right here. Off the coast.
Cool. I'll circle it.
And she will also point out that it was buried. She looks at your map, which doesn't have, like... If we zoom way out, you can see that you just have this big jungle of death area. And she will say that there is a fissure in the ground, and she'll point to like right around here-ish. But she will also say something to the effect of like, your map lacks detail.
True. It's a shame of the Mapper family that we haven't gotten to explore the jungle of death yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's still time left, don't there? Okay, Geraldine, here's the offer. Okay.
And I remember one of the orcs. I kind of interrupt because of my wizarding interest. I can't
Take a
help
deep
but
breath.
remember.
I'll let the rage wash away. I'll be like, okay, you promised to be patient. Just let
One
it
of
go.
the orcs, they talked about some sort of vorpal weapon finding.
Excuse me?
They found some sort of vorpal weapon? Am I misremembering? I don't think I am.
Let's check the weapons. Can we have a look at the swords? Like, let's have a quick browse. What are the guys wearing? Or the ladies?
She shakes her head. If my men wielded a vorpal sword, we would not be having this conversation. You would all be dead at my feet.
I nod.
Vincent, are you happy with your inquiries?
Yes, please go ahead. Sorry, I can't
That's
help
fine.
but have the wizard's curiosity bubble up within me.
How many people do we need to row that boat, Neal? Like, we've been there, we've seen the slaves. How many people do you need to just have it be seaworthy? Like the journey is going to be twice as long. It's a pain in the butt,
Right.
but you can still make it. Like, bare bones. So what are we talking?
Like 20 to 40? I can't remember the exact numbers, but definitely like her 100 orcs should easily manage that without
Okay,
any
good.
problem. I think it's 20
I don't
that
think
you need to be
100 people would fit on there, right?
It would be tight quarters if you tried to put 100 people on that boat. It's doable if you're not carrying any like large amounts of cargo. If you're just packing some food and some water and some bodies, you could probably do it.
What about 100 people plus all of the slaves?
Well, it depends on the quality of life you want the people to lead. Like you
Got
can
it.
keep packing people in and then sickness will get half of them and then it'll be a comfortable journey the rest of the way. Yeah.
Okay, so my offer is the following, because this is the second offer I have to make, and because the first offer is off the table. We will give you one boat. We will give you no slaves. You can have no goblins. We will supply you with food, enough for your travel back to Solemn. And in exchange, you will swear by the goddess you follow that the Varasi army will never step foot again on this island.
I could no more make that oath than you could make an oath that the Drekisian Empire would never set foot upon this island.
All right, then
But
let's
I
make it
can
personal.
say that if you kill me here today, they will come looking for me. If you kill me here, you will be declaring war between our peoples.
All right, then let's make it personal. And swear it to me that you will not come back to this island with your people.
She's already vowed that, I think.
She's going to take a moment to think, because what you're asking her is to make a personal promise to you that if she gets ordered back here by her superiors, that she will turn that order down. And that is a dangerous thing for her to be in. That's a dangerous spot to say, I will, go back. I will decline.
Well, she
orders
has
from
an
my betters.
invisibility spell. She'll be fine.
Totally. Right? But it is it's not a nothing ask. So she's going to take a moment to consider the options. That she will never come back to this island. You want the goblins? Fine. You can have them. You want the unruly, ill-tempered, bad rowers of slaves? Fine, they're yours. The nared, she says, still holding the shawl in her hand. I want the nared, and I will promise to you that I will never return.
I'll whisper in Elaine's ear.
And small for yourself, because otherwise it would feel like a defeat. You don't want this land, and you want to have nothing to do with it. Yet you want to keep a little souvenir for yourself, is that it?
Yes, a souvenir. A token of my time if I am never to return. Someone that I can ask questions of. Someone who knows. Someone who remembers. If I won't set foot here, and I have curiosities still, I will always be able to turn to Nyla. To Nyla.
Surely you found many more treasures than just Nyla.
I
That
did.
That we will be letting you escape with.
Most of them damaged and destroyed in the earthquakes as the citadel fell. Others too heavy to haul behind, yet others abandoned when elementals of fire swept down upon us crossing the mountains.
That citadel called Fort Kachuma, or the citadel, the other citadel?
That is the one.
Don't you remember the letter we received last time? And I think it didn't say anything about killing them or not killing them. Like the army. It was just a letter to send away the orcs.
Yeah. A DM it.
But there was no confirmation what to do about the army, you know.
Yeah,
I don't
everything
think.
was left in your hands. All major decision making was left in your hands.
I talked to Elaine. We're getting into the gray area certainly, but I think we can give her the rowers for the nared.
What, the rowers for the nared? What do you mean?
The
Like, give her
slaves
some
from her ship.
rowers.
She didn't ask for them though, did she?
She didn't,
but we can
we
offer.
might need to offer something for the nared.
I think that a lot more harm to like the empire and this land would be done. This is just utilitarianism, okay? It's like a justification means to an end. But a lot more harm would be done if we allowed her to escape with a nared that she could torture information out of for the rest of time, because the nareds might be immortal, we don't know, or they might live hundreds of years. That information could unlock secrets to this land that results in her empire returning with more knowledge to conquer this land and fuck everyone and everything up in here. The slaves, that's fucked up. But I think that the cumulative harm that the slaves experience will not outweigh the cumulative harm that will come from her escaping with the nared in future, if we were to look back.
I think that was well put.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, I mean, technically these people are not Drekisian.
They're not Drekisian in any way, shape, or form. They are people from the Dardennes, a foreign country that is not exactly peaceable, run by tyrant there, the White Prince, timeless, ageless cleric who survives via a fountain of youth.
Yep, we did free them and welcome to Santa Barbara, but, you know, tough times call for tough decisions.
We have to
This
think
is
of
a
the
super
good of the
tough
world.
decision.
Yes, but it's
Well,
the
yes,
fate of
but
50
that's-
people.
how many slaves are we talking here that we're handing back over?
I think it's like 20.
Look, yeah.
I'm not comfortable handing over. Like, I don't know about you guys, but this is not making me happy. This.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. 20
not
for one.
comfortable.
20 for one is a lot. Start with 10.
I'm always supposed to value real, like, you know, it's something I can actually grasp versus one magical water being, and you're like, yeah, we can't let the water being go, but those 20 slaves, they feel very real to me, you know? That's not really, it's not really.
You're right. I think 10 is a fair starting value.
Okay, listen. Okay, no. I'm saying no. I'm not going to bargain for lives here. You wanted to parley. This is what we're here to do. You said they're going to come back if you get killed. If you stay, you're going to get yourself killed, Geraldine. The offer that's on the table is still on the table. You can take the boat, you can have the supplies, and you can leave with your research and everything you have found. But everything else stays here, including the nared. That's the last offer.
That's something we're throwing and you didn't ask for, the supplies. How are you going to get back without our supplies?
That is true.
You would set our peoples on a track of war with one another. For that thing in the water, you would risk thousands of lives. Maybe tens or hundreds of thousands. You would have my empire come and crush your civilization over a nared.
I will look at this lady. I'll look angrily with my little halfling face at her in her eyes, and I'll go, would you?
I'll look at her and I'll say, listen, Geraldine. I'm just as tired as you probably are of being in a place that wants neither of us here. I promise you that. I don't think it's either of our place to make decisions for our entire country. I don't think either of us are in the position, just as you said earlier. Okay? I don't think this is the time for petty animosities. And we are already being gracious, being here and talking as a second chance after you told us that we need to leave the island, after threatening us, after trying to kill our people. We have shown more than grace and mercy. We have given you already more than you have asked for. Okay? And I don't know how negotiations work where you come from. But we will not endlessly nod our head and say yes, and this is where I, Elaine Pentolin, draw the line. You can leave. You can take your people back with all the information you have. You can tell them about us, about our army, about how we act, about everything you've learned, and that is some really valuable information for, you know, a foreign place. You got all the information. You're a researcher. You're not somebody who leads an army. We know that. So take your knowledge, take that win, and take it home to your people. I will extend a hand towards her and I will say, listen, I'm a person of honor. I'm no coward. But even I have my limits.
She will reach out to take your hand with the shawl in it and hand you the shawl in the process of shaking your hand for the supplies. And she points to
for
Nook
the
Nook.
supplies.
That goblin. You can have the rest.
You want him?
That one.
Well, I'll look at Nook Nook.
He's a free goblin. He can do whatever he wants, right?
I don't think he'll ever be free and be able to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's true.
But for some people, surviving is the goal. So I'll look at him. I'll say, what do you say, Knock Knock?
Yes, mistress. Whatever you say, mistress.
I'll nod. I'll say it's a deal.
Okay. She leaves the shawl in your hands, and you can see the nared in the water, whose head is above, looking at you with big, wide eyes. Like,
Can
I'm
I
not
put
sure
my
what's-
hand up for the shawl.
I'll put it into Crumb's hand.
I'll walk over to the nared in the water and I'll just extend my hand with the shawl there.
She will quickly grab it, wrap it round her shoulders, and poof, just like disappear into the water immediately.
Get out of here. That's good. Now on my way back, I'll pat Nook Nook on his shoulder and I'll whisper in his ear and I'll say, second that she has a moment where she's not watching you, just fucking run for it. Not here. When you get back there, you'll be a free goblin soon. I'll give him a little pat.
Okay.
Crow's not cruel, but she's not gonna advocate for the fucking goblin over world peace.
Yeah. Well,
All right. So, what are the organization like? What would I guess we would have to figure out what the organization of this looks like, and whether that boat is even still viable, or how to fucking do that.
she tells you that she's going to go now. She's going to meet up with her orcs. They're going to come into town tomorrow or the day after, depending on how quickly they can organize. And then they are going to haul the boat back into the lagoon, do any repairs that are needed to the best of their ability, and take off.
All right. We'll expect them then.
Okay. They ride out. Trump, Jeff,
I would like.
Vincent?
I would like
you have a
to
fireball
give
spell.
Vincent. Yeah, you do.
Yes.
This is your chance. This is your chance to parley, Vincent. If you ever wanted to parley.
You've done it. You've secured peace between our two nations. You've gotten way better, in my opinion, on our side of the deal than theirs. I have this sinking feeling that the island might actually be, out to kill us, but that's our problem.
Okay. I would like to make my hand into a fist. Okay. And then I'm going to give Vincent a strong punch on his upper. And I'll just say, Vincent, you said something very differently from what just happened,
Yeah, what was that?
You said we were going in to end this once and for all, and now look at us.
Well, I did not expect such a amenable Geraldine. It gets me to believe that it sounds like a very generous deal, and by all nature, it's more than we asked for, which means that the island must truly be terrible.
Well, you keep that scroll on you in case we need it.
Got it. Will do.
God, I hate this people.
Okay. Well, you can head back to town. Are you going to say anything to the town before the orcs show up in a day or two?
Oh, 100%. I will talk to Campbell first if we can get him.
Yeah. Oh, you can give me the big picture here.
Well, the idea is that we will inform them that the Vorasi army is going to leave, finally, the island. That they are going to take the ship and that we will supply them. So they leave and leave us in peace because we are, the island is stirred up and we need some just final peace on here without further disruptions, and that this is the only way how we can achieve that. And that they don't have to look at the people who tortured them for this long. Nobody asked that of them, but
we will be standing guard and watch, and they need to be amenable to,
Okay.
letting this happen.
Yeah.
Because it's for the greater good, greater
the
than
greater
us, I guess.
good. Yes, the greater good. Well,
You can still fireball a boat once it's at sea, Vincent, I'm just saying.
speaking of that, there is one more moment here when the orcs gather. It's not 100 orcs. They lied about that. That is definitely.
Of course it's not 100 orcs. They would
But it
have murdered
is
us.
a lot of orcs. It is.
How many are we talking?
2, 3,
Can
4,
I
5,
actually
6,
get
7,
a
8.
real fucking number? A real number. Oh my god, it is a lot of orcs.
It's-
Holy shit.
48 minion orcs, 1 leader orc, 4 bodyguards of Geraldine's.
Okay, just a fib. Small fib.
Yeah.
Small fib. Okay,
But there is this
Krob
moment
was lying.
a
That
few days
goddamn
later
goblin.
when they've got the boat on rollers and they're trying to haul it back out to sea, and all the orcs are gathered together in one big, perfect, fireballable cluster, all packed together. Now, the dimensions of fireball, it's a 20-foot radius, so you could more or less get this entire group of orcs, but you couldn't also get Geraldine and her soldiers. Or you could get Geraldine and her soldiers and maybe a third of the orcs. And you also couldn't get the orcish leader unless you wanted to skip out on, a bunch of orcs as well. Is there a moment of change of mind, Vincent?
I will give you something that happened before she strolled into the down though. It's nothing
Oh,
major.
please.
When I see, I guess, her, I want to cast Detect Magic so that I'll be able to see what wonderful treasures she came up with. Today I prepared 4 casts of Detect Magic just so I could see what she was getting away with.
He's just having a look.
Just having a little look-see.
She has the armor spell cast on her. You expect it's a conjuration spell that covers all of her body. It's classic wizard armor spell that you would have. She has, I'm looking through her notes, literally no magic items on her whatsoever.
Cool.
0.
I might expect them on her bodyguard since she did say she gave 1 treasured item to a bodyguard.
0 magic items on her bodyguards as well. And it's worth noting that these bodyguards are not at full HP. I didn't put the HP bars on, but they are at a mix of HPs.
Did she look completely fine?
She looks fine. Whoops, that is way too many.
Alright.
Alright, if you wanted the confirmation, I don't cast Fireball.
Is there a temptation in you? A burning desire, maybe?
No, there is not.
Elaine?
We made a deal.
He's your subordinate.
Do I have
You're
the
gonna...
moment I'm like, oh, if I was a wizard. No. It's
Crumb.
it's fine.
Yeah.
These people, they're probably gonna go back and cause a war, right? What if you... Isn't there a way... Like,
Are they?
you're a rogue. Rogues technically have a non-zero chance to read spells off of scrolls. You could... It might fail, it might backfire, but if you could steal that scroll from Jeff, you might be able to
yeah.
read it.
But no, I feel like this is the way to prevent most deaths. I mean, seeing her walking, seeing all of them walking, I think that Crumb probably has more bloodlust than the other two, who are totally happy with it. Crumb's weighing in her mind like, okay, so she goes back, that's no casualties, but like if we killed her, maybe that'd be good. Like maybe they wouldn't come looking and then they'd all be dead, which is even better. But she's not gonna steal a scroll or anything. She's grown close to the party. She doesn't want to break their trust. And also, I think that she would say in her head, if she was a wizard, they would all die. She would kill them all. She'd be so powerful. They'd all be dead. But she's just a little halfling. Two daggers.
Okay. Well, they will haul the boat back into the lagoon. They will fill it with supplies that you give them. It's worth noting that there is protest from the villagers. They're in not a great spot. There have been earthquakes, buildings are destroyed, floods, resources are gone. By supplying them with the amount of food you've offered them will essentially bring the town into we have to live off the land for a while. The town has to follow your directions no matter what, so they have no say in this, but it does create some
Tension.
animosity.
Yep.
Yeah, some tension, definitely. Okay.
We will deal with it.
Well, they'll fill up the boat with supplies, pack it full of orcs.
Well, I noticed
leaving...
I noticed they're hauling like their supplies onto the boat. I try to cast a detect magic and see if they are taking any magical items off with them.
No. It
Wow.
appears that if they came with magic items, and they did, because they had healing potions, that they must have used them all or lost them all. That their story about the difficulties of extracting from their citadel might be true.
They might still be at the ruins. Like, they might be just, underneath all the rubble. It's really hard to excavate all that stuff.
Yeah, there have been a lot of lies told in this game, but this one might be truthful.
Yeah, it truly means that these guys are really escaping due to really bad circumstance.
Scruff of their neck, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
We might be sad that we're not escaping on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Is this our only boat?
Well, you
No,
have
we have
another boat that was hanging out by the islands before that, all the water disappeared and then a big wave showed up. So that's a different problem.
Have we had contact with that boat, or is it?
There's a plan that you can wave a flag at a spot every so often, and if the boat sees it, they'll come by and but that hasn't been tested yet. So
Fingers
we'll
crossed.
find out later. Yeah.
It's a problem
We'll
for
find
a
out later.
different time. Yep.
All right. Well, the boat goes out to sea. They all hop on, and they sail away.
Great. No fireball.
I look at them leaving the lagoon.
As they leave, I can't help but vocalize to the party. Boy, I sure hope we don't need to escape on a boat.
Well,
Yeah, we'll see.
we'll see if this is home now, I guess.
Impressive lack of murder hoboing party. Very rare.
Very rare.
Well,
Very
we
rare.
have a lot of people to appease. There's a lot of rubble to clean up. I think there's some messages to be buried in the sand. Some boats to be found. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few more conversations before we fully wrap up. The next one is going to be with Lord Campbell. He'll be by. Everyone's coming out to see the orcs do this stuff, although they're all keeping good distance until everyone's on a boat out on the water. But once the army of Rossi has left these shores, Lord Campbell, still limping, will approach Elaine and Crumb and Vincent all standing together and look at the three of you, and then hold out his arms, wrists limp. Well, the people who put me in charge are gone. I guess it's time for me to go to jail.
You're so dramatic, Campbell.
Right?
That is so extra of you.
Extra, that's a good thing, right?
Yes, extra considerate, but I don't believe that will be necessary. I turn to Elaine.
No? No?
I'll look at him and I'll say, there's something I need to show you. And we didn't have time for it, but it is very important.
He lets his arms fall to his sides.
I said, today is not the day, but tomorrow you will need to... we'll need to show you something.
You are going to show me something, or everyone's going to show me something?
Well, I'll need Vincent and Crumb with me, so... if Vincent goes, then Vordran goes, so we will need to show you something.
Okay. very cryptic. I'll come back tomorrow.
Okay.
And he'll walk past Crumb and
bring
pat her on
some-
the head.
Bring some solid boots.
He pats Crumb on the head. Good job there, little halfling. And he reaches out to shake Vincent's hand. Couldn't have done it without you, Vincent. And he'll
The
just
same
sort of-
to you, friend.
Oh, I'll just look at Crumb and say he has to get out of here. This man boils my blood. I swear to God.
Pats Vordran on the shoulder and goes, "We haven't had a conversation, but I bet you were helpful." And
That's so kind of him.
and he leaves.
Couldn't have done it without us. Did you hear that?
Yeah, he did it.
It's true. He helped us a lot, Elaine.
Vincent, if you're trying to butter me up, okay? I swear.
Okay. Well, we are nearing the end of our campaign here. You have explored the
Yes.
lands. You have defeated the foes who might, pull legal authority away from you. It's still a shithole of a place filled with monsters and elementals and earthquakes and fires. And the town that's here is in a dire state, hit with fire, earthquake, and flood all within a week of each other. The land has also been soaked with salt water, which is not great.
Not good for crops, no.
What is the future of this area? Are we staying? Are we gonna rescue all the people and get the fuck off this island?
I think we're staying. We'll try to see how sustainable it is, whether the fire elementals all come back. But I think we fought so hard for this place that just abandoning now would seem wrong. And I think I will just take into account as well what the villagers want to do, right? But they didn't. At any point, they could have said, "Okay, we have to get out of here. We need to get on a boat, and we need to leave." And they did not.
No,
Not a
they
single
didn't
one
have a
approached
boat.
us. No, but they know we have one, right? And we had a boat in the lagoon as well, like the other one. And nobody actually wanted to leave because they consider this their home. And if they stay, we are staying.
Okay.
At least I'm staying.
Well, you're staying for enough time, I guess, for the colony to get set up before you head back out on the official ship.
Well, who knows?
Or
Do you want
is
me to explain what I'm going to do with Lord Campbell?
Yeah, I figure we're just about at the end of our time here. We should probably have a short session next week if everyone can still make it, as sort of like a wrapping up all the loose ends and
wrap-up.
maybe a couple of questions from the viewers if they have them. But I do want to know what Lord Campbell needs heavy boots for.
Do you want to do it next time, but you want to know what he needs the
No,
boots
no,
for?
I want do it now, Faye.
All right, so I'll take Crumb, Vincent, Vordran, and Lord Campbell through the tiny pass on the western side, through that ravine-like place, and I will introduce him to Skeely, the nared, who was waiting for the elves to come back to the island.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm sure she's gonna be real happy to see another human. She loves that.
He's a half elf, just like Elaine.
Oh, that's true. That's fucking true.
Lord Campbell will see the... elementals don't have human form, so when they take human form, they can take, you assume, basically whatever human form they choose. And they always choose 18 hotness human forms, because if you can choose, if it's not your body and you can choose whenever you want, they always pick the attractive versions. So Lord Campbell is over here marching through this muck and river water, and this hot nared shows up out of the water. There's no polite way to phrase that.
Ooga.
Yeah, and he's a little in shock, and he's looking around, and the nared's kind of like, "Hi. Oh, you're back, Elaine. It's so nice to see you. Did you bring any elves this time?"
So yeah, this is Lord Bruce Campbell, He is the one who was in charge of the settlement at the beach. You know, those people you disliked. But he is actually another half-elf. And I thought maybe you two could have a chat about these lands and what the elves, you know, what its role is for the elves. I don't think he knows yet, and I figured you'd be better to tell him than I am.
Okay. He will chat with her. He's a very friendly guy. She's a very curious person. Lord Campbell needs to make a saving throw versus breath weapon at a -2 penalty, or drown.
What? Are you kidding?
What just happened?
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Nered's kiss
Neal.
causes a man to drown unless he makes a successful saving throw versus breath weapon at a -2 penalty. I don't know what you thought was going to happen when you introduced these two people.
This man has no willpower. This man has no
You
willpower.
went to kiss her?
Oh,
I
no.
mean, after some conversation, and you know, she's interested in meeting people, and he is not an elf. And there is some interesting nared lore in here regarding shawls.
What do you mean by he
and
is not an
kisses.
elf? So I was fine, but he is not? That's interesting.
She's not into girls. Sorry. There was a moment when she approached Vincent. I don't know if you remember that session when they were talking, but there was a moment where she did try, maybe gently, to suggest something with Vincent, and he politely refused. But Lord Campbell
not this
is not
man.
so polite. So
She didn't make it obvious enough.
You're really
clearly.
going to mess? Oh my god, this guy, I swear.
Someone want to roll a d20 for Lord Campbell's saving throw versus death,
Look
or maybe
this.
breath
No,
weapon,
you
or
can roll it
maybe.
yourself, Neal.
I think this
don't
probably
care.
happens after you've all walked away. You know, I think you
I don't want
lead
to
him.
be. I don't want to kill a narrative over Lord Campbell. It's not happening. If he, you know, if he is horny on Maine, then he'll have to kill himself. Like.
Well, why don't we let that happen off screen and know that he would have to roll a natural 20 to live.
Wow.
And he was never seen again. Oh.
Right? That's how this goes, I think. Nareds.
Sounds extremely deadly.
I just want to see what I would have rolled.
Ugh.
He would have died.
Upon contact with air, they assume human form. Blah, blah, blah. Voices and songs are lovely. Always carries a shawl. If confronted by only females, the nared appears in male disguise, but a woman has a 65% chance to see through the disguise. All males who see a nared are incapable of harming it. No saving throw. So,
That's good.
some
Just
casual.
sexy fucking water people.
Yeah, but it goes beyond just being hot stuff, because you can always kill a hot person, but this is that fey
Magical
enchantment.
hotness.
This is
Yeah.
the like unnatural, like bewixing charm of old legend.
But
that are
half elves do have like a bonus against being charmed, though.
actually you're
because
right.
he's a half elf. They get a bonus
I-
against charms.
His save might actually be a lot better because he does have resistance to charms.
Yeah.
I didn't consider the elven charm resistance.
It's a thing. That is why Elaine is so bad at flirting, because the charms do not work that well on her.
30% resistance to sleep and all charm-related effects. 30% is a +6 on a saving throw. So he would need a 16 or better to survive the encounter. Ooh, I did not roll that publicly. I rolled that privately. I guess I did a /GM roll, but here it is. What it looked like. Lord Campbell rolls a 17. The DM
Ooh, let's
party because
go,
I
Lord
forgot
Campbell.
to roll it
Fucking
correctly.
lucky is what he is.
I can't believe I lawyered for this man. He owes me. This guy owes me big time until the end of it. Well, I also kind of fucked up by bringing him in. I didn't think that this would be a problem. But...
You did be like, hey, here's the. Oh my God, she murdered him.
Well, I'm not good with romance. I did not see this coming. I didn't think he would be like, hey, how's your day going? Do you want to lean in for a kiss? And he's like, yeah, you know what? I don't have anything better to do, so.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out more about this. We'll hear more about this, and we'll find out which members of the party stay here, which members go home, and what the plan is, if there is a plan for this region, all on our... I want to say this is the final episode, and the next episode is our epilogue, but we'll still number it as
Are
Rise
we
of
going to
Drekis,
make a
Chapter
list
2,
of
Episode 12.
questions, Q&A on Reddit or something, so people can ask if they want?
That's a great question. There is a thread up on the subreddit. I'm going to link it in Twitch chat. If you're watching this as a VOD on YouTube, it's reddit.com/r/Koibu. The thread is called Rise of Drekis 2.11 : quote, shake it up, unquote, episode discussion. You'll find it there, and you can dump your questions in there, and I will pull from there when we meet next time.
Woo! All right.
But
We did
think this is a victory?
Yeah. Not for the goblins. Well, for some goblins, not for one goblin, you know? The other goblins.
He'll figure it out.
All right. That's it. We'll be back next week. Bye, everyone.
We
Bye.
won!